Okay, we'll try that again. Can you guys hear me now? Hopefully you can, because yeah. Still no sound. Why is there no sounds going on? My mic's on. It's not muted. There is now. Cool. Hey, Matt. Oh. I just got back from Heathrow with Connor. And I caught an ID 7 species of rattlesnake alone. That is awesome. That sounds amazing. I think you should have. Not right now because we've got a busy few days ahead, but once Connor's settled again and stuff, if Connor and you, Matt, if you ever want to come on Monday and chat about, if anyone wants to chat about what you got up to in Arizona and just about the experience, I think probably everyone would love to hear that, probably. If he's up for that, of course. My favourite thing was the ridge nose rattlesnake. Oh, fantastic. Nice one. Yep. We'll have to organise a date, Matt. We'll organise that, definitely. Hey, Rebecca. So, as I was saying, before it turned out I had no sound right at the beginning, hopefully we've been joined by a few people. Like Josh for Only Pods, hopefully Jeremy Jones All World, and hopefully Chris of Animals Addictive, hopefully. To have a bit of a round table sort of discussion type thing. Josh for Only Pods was part of a statement that was put out today within the Isopod world, which I've been in full agreement of. But I know it's ruffled a few feathers. So he wasn't too sure, but I said I'm very open to discussing that. So hopefully, he'll be joining us in a few minutes' time. Oh. There he is, speak of the devil. Oh. There he is.
I need to put my headphones in. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Cool. Sorry about that. I was just on the phone quickly. How's it going?
That's right. Not so bad, you?
Yeah, so you found your way back to your table then? We thought you got lost.
Well, I was just popping off quickly, and then literally got in the main room and everyone just wanted to chat and stuff, and then it's like over an hour later.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a bit more than an hour. No, I'm joking.
I was like, I'm just gonna go making a deal.
Yeah. Well, this is why you make so many friends, so they can look after your table while you go and have fun.
That's it. I look after what was I go off and spend probably far too much money, but some of it's in stock.
I definitely spent too much, but really inadvertently. Yeah. Oh, that was a good show.
Oh, Emma's in Tenerife. Nice.
Oh, let me get the YouTube thing up so I can see the chats.
Matt said he was going to do a video to show, but Connor had his camera.
Oh God!
Hey Dan, hey Amy.
That bloody Dan, man. Menace to society.
How'd you? I know we've got you scheduled to come on just as a special guest later on this month, but we may be chatting something that you may have some input on, Dan, possibly if you want the link.
I don't think Dan likes me enough to join.
Oh.
I gave him some wrong directions yesterday. We were driving back to my house, And I was like, "Oh, you've right. Hold on, right. Let me plead my case here, right? Because we're going home. I don't know the way. I don't drive. I know I've lived there, but like I don't really know. Anyway, there's a roundabout, right? but in all fairness, I didn't know it wasn't a roundabout because basically it's a it's a roundabout for people. It's just like a round thing, and you can walk all the way around it because obviously I walk, wherever I want to go, and it has offshoots. But you can't drive all the way around it. You can only drive 3/4 of the way. So I was like, "Oh, you've got to go around that roundabout." And he was like, "There's no roundabout here." I was like, "Oh yeah, the people roundabout." He's like, "What's a people roundabout?" Oh dear.
Oh, God. So you basically managed to get down lost in your own city.
Yeah, multiple times as well. Like
Multiple times.
he was so tired, bless him as well. He was like, "Josh, mate, give me your postcode. I do not want to get any." Honestly, I had them so scared, Phil, because we were going out for dinner afterwards. I had them so scared that I didn't know where I was going. That like they were in front of the car park and they wasn't even sure if they should go in because they were like, "Is this the car park?" And I was like, "I think so. Yeah, I guess." I'm terrible with directions. Mud skippers.
That's right. I mean, Amy will tell you, if we drive and following the sat nav, I usually go wrong all the time and take a wrong turning or miss a turning or whatever.
I think the problem is the way I pick, because I walk as well, like everywhere. The way I pictured to get somewhere is like I actually like map it out in my head. Like I can remember every bush you go past. I'm picturing the walk and I'm picturing like the businesses and so on and so forth. But I'm not thinking like left, right, that type of thing. He gets lost every frigging time. Yeah. So basically, never put me and Phil in a car together, or we'll end up in like Bermuda Triangle or something.
Just never be seen again. What happened to them? They drove off into the sunset. We don't know.
Oh dear.
Anyone must give us a follow for basic care info rather than relying on Google? I haven't. I don't know if anyone else has. Or no. I believe they're all brackish water, which is can be a bit of a pain to get right, I believe. But don't rely on that at all because I've never kept them. And just is your missus good with bugs? If so, they can let us two go off together.
I'm sure she'd love that.
It could be dangerous though, because eventually we'd probably just turn up again with a whole mass of isopods or something.
I think it would be more incredible than that. We'd probably, honestly, we'd probably open up a second or third zoo. If we won the lottery first, if we won the lottery first, then, yeah, or just found a couple of credit cards lying on the floor, as long as they haven't got our names on it,
That's it.
But she did love the crystals, by the way, Amy. She loves it every time. Every show we go to, she says, "Oh, I've got to go to see Amy to get a mystery bag of crystals." She absolutely loves them. So thank you for always like putting an extra bit of love into it. And I say, "Oh God, no! That means I've got to go see Phil." Oh,
that's it. I mean, the good thing is I don't have. Apart from the opals, unless you got opals now, I don't have a huge amount that you're necessarily after.
I'm just doing a trade with ads for opals. I've been looking for them for quite a while.
I've just had mine came from ads. I feel I've just had my third brood now.
Oh, awesome, man! They're so cool. Honestly, they're so, and that's the thing. It's kind of what I like about pods, right? Is some can be so elusive to get, right? They're not everywhere. They're not like sold everywhere, but they're beautiful pods, and like that they're captive bred and they're great, and they're going to do well for you. So like to hear that you're on your third brood, it didn't surprise me, but equally that's really, it's really amazing. Like, opals are so cool. I'd love to see like an orange morph of opals. Oh, that would be That would be really cool because oranges seem to come out quite a lot in isopods. That's like the most common.
It's quite a common morph you
Morph,
see,
yeah.
in quite a few orange, sort of orange and white sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then there's something
and then
about
the
some
odd
white
pink.
isopods though that's really nice sort of thing. Like I don't know what it is, and some of them look so similar, but I'm just like, oh, I just like it.
Yeah. It's the face, man. Do you know what? It's that
Sometimes, yeah.
like chibi. Is it called a chibi factor? You know, with the like thing with big eyes, and it's kind of like that. They haven't got big eyes, but they just have some sort of like really cute face.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, because I mean, just pure one was I got pure, white panda kings.
Hmm.
They're just all white. I got white pearl granulatums that are obviously all white.
But they have different personalities. Like it sounds
the
weird to say,
team
but
minus albinos.
yeah.
Oh,
I do find some of the white ones creepy though. I don't know why, but I do find like I had these. I don't know what I can't remember the name of them now because I literally got rid of them as soon as I got them. I just did not take a liking to them. They look creepy as hell, but they were just pure white, and they just I don't know. They just look like like I think all isopods look French, and this just looked like a really scary French man.
French. I ain't know that one before.
If you search up like a Porcelio Werneri, right, and you look at it, you'll be like, oh, that is French, or you know, Spiky Ivory, you'll be like, yeah, French, always French. I'm glad she liked them.
Hey, Courtney. Courtney's climbing jungle.
Yeah, I'll let you know, Amy. Yeah, definitely. What about the white pods that are called blind? Blind Satins. I think
Blind Sands. I was looking at those on a Dan's table. I was like, oh, I actually didn't get any isopods yesterday, which is quite a surprise for me.
To be fair, there wasn't like that many isopod tables. Like there was because you got Mark, you got Dan, but like compared to the very last show I went, there was a lot more there.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah. Bugs Beyond, me, Dan, and some on Exotic Enclosures.
Yeah, but I think like the last one I did was BTS. There was loads of people there, and C's. I think it was pretty much everybody. To be fair, but yeah, so there wasn't loads. But I did see some really cool. I don't know if you saw that there was some flame duckies on Mark's table.
You know what? I
really
think
cool.
as much as they were next to me, I didn't actually look up their table at all. I don't think I could. Like, there was always people there, so I just didn't get.
You don't have time, do you? You don't have time.
I saw that they posted that they were taking them, and I saw I was like, that's a reasonable price. I don't have the money right now, so that's
yeah.
Cool. I can't justify it. I don't,
no.
even if I look at them, I'm not going to be like, yes.
No, they're so cool, and they're doing. Mark and Claire are doing an incredible job with them, and I hope that they get out there because like that'll be, as far as I'm aware, they were the second or the third. So whoever they sold it to, which I think was Spike, he'll be like the fourth to have them. And I know that Mark and Claire have already got a couple of like generations as such, like broods out of them. So like, it's it's hopeful, and they seem to be doing well, and they are a cool pod. You don't see them ever, really.
No, I've never I don't think I've ever seen them at a show. I certainly haven't seen those in the flesh.
Yeah, I wouldn't have taken them if I had them. I wouldn't. I'd keep them for myself. I'm selfish. Yeah, I don't really think they wanted to let them go. To be fair,
I can imagine. No, I think if at other shows, if I got them and I've got the money, it might be like, oh.
But I'm sure, like I don't know about you, but I'm like that with like every pod though. Like even like I've got some, like Porcelio, then there's Prodiscus, whatever, Koi, the blue looking ones. And I've just got some that are like so colourful that I've just got them in a different pot. It's not
individual.
I just like, I'm just like, I would never think about selling them as something different because they're not that different. They just look a little bit more striking. I'm like, oh no, I really like them. I want to keep them. I don't want anyone else to have them.
I sometimes do that if I see what for me is a really particularly nice looking dairy cow. I'll be like, no, you're saying it.
Yeah. I was talking to someone that does like snakes and geckos recently, and we were talking about like, the prices of things and stuff like that. And they were like, in all honesty, the prices are usually high enough that no one will buy them off me, so I get to keep them. And I'm like, yes, fair enough. I get you, I guess.
Yeah, that's what you do sometimes. Yeah, but some things like, yeah, I don't mind taking this home, so I'll price it as this price. But if if someone really wants it and they pay that, then cool.
Yeah, and then you still cry because you're like,
yeah, and you're like,
you wipe your tears with maybe a bit of a couple of pound coins, but but yeah, you are sad. It's I don't know, man. We put so much time into these things, and I think that like the draw with isopods is like there is so many like different combinations of, obviously because you create morphs. There's so many like differences. Like obviously, I've not kept a load of bugs, but like specifically like mantises and that amazing. They're beautiful, but you've got no like customization as such with them, right? So you've got your mantis.
Really, and I mean, in terms of like the wider sort of invert hobby as a general, morphs aren't really a thing.
Yeah.
It's hello, Chris.
Hello.
Hey, TJF videos is just thing as well. So, like you don't see really, you see color, naturally occurring color forms within some tarantulas, like the Chiros, which is now you got normal color form and red color form kind of thing, and that was thought to be two separate species, and then became just one species. So we don't really see, you might see again, some different color forms, but not really necessarily morphs.
Yeah.
Within the within mantis, they're not. I mean, Amy may correct me here, possibly. She may know more, maybe even Chris. Actually, I'm not aware of anyone like line breeding colors of mantis, sort of thing, within like the ones that do come up in different, different colorations sometimes. Same with, like,
green mantis.
Well, I wonder, like, is there such thing as an albino mantis? Do you get albino?
Not that I'm aware of.
I think that's like the other thing is like it's probably impossible to some extent to create.
I know Amy's quoting me. Rick is, and apparently Chris, you're going to.
Yeah, I've got the green ghost mantis.
Ah, yeah.
So ghost mantis normally come brownie.
Yeah, some come green. Yeah.
Yeah, but all green ghost mantis are females.
Oh.
Yes, which I learned yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and sort of in the Phasma world, you got like the Maclay Spectre, Insect, that's the same as Tiaratum. You get what's called the lichen form or the lichen morph, which is it's a naturally occurring thing. And people have argued for years whether it's a partly genetic or partly conditions type thing, because that one only the females turn that coloration, the males never do. But then that female, eggs from that female may not necessarily turn into the lichen ones. So there's sometimes, so it's obviously, yeah, but it only seems to be the isopod world that's really taken on the bringing of various.
I think it's just the turnaround times. I feel a lot easier, right? So with like the mantises, I can imagine how much work goes into feeding 100 mantises or whatever, and then to do that year on year and year on year, and if it's already not like accustomed to changing colors, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's I can imagine it's really difficult, like for example, shrimp, right? I did a deep dive into shrimp for quite a while ago, and I learned that like some morphs take like 20 years to kind of create. So it's a similar kind of thing where they create morphs. I wonder if it's crustaceans. I don't know if a shrimp is a crustacean, but
yes,
I don't know. Yeah, cool. I've got that right. But yeah, I mean, it's like the but some things people don't want to like. So at the show, which I said I inadvertently spent some more money than I should have. You've got like the vampire crabs. Now, I was given a bit of bad advice when I brought them, but basically what had happened is I brought some, and they gave me all different species. I didn't know. I'd asked about care and so on and so forth. I just asked if they could. I'd assumed that they're maybe morphs. But doing some further research, one, they'll probably attack each other, which is not great. So now I've got to figure that out. But the other thing is, people really, really don't like the hybridization in the what do you call it, the vampire crab world. Whereas if I told you that I could, for example, with hematite, which is a type of cuberis, type of firefly, you can hybridize that with a bunch of other fireflies, right? And everybody's quite happy with that. So it's like weird that some
the difference there is probably the fact that with the vampire crabs, that's different species, which is then true hybridization. But you're talking about doing two different types of firefly, which and then are they the same? I know with some, I was going to say some was the same names. That are
so although they're the same name, they are actually different species, and they have a different. For example, so four of the main ones, you've got LFC, you've got DFC, so light color form, dark color form, you've got GRN, and now you've got hematite, right? And you can crossbreed all of those because they are similar enough. They're separate species and they're found in the science says they're different species based on their location because they're so far apart, according to people that know more about it than me, because I don't know that much. But you're able to breed them, which is usually not possible. Like, you can't breed duckies with amber duckies, for example, even though, that they look very similar. So it's the only one we found so far you can do that with. Whereas you've got Firefly OG, and not only does that look just like the GRN, but it is more so a different species. It's actually got I can't remember what the name of it is now, but it's got on its second plate underneath, it's got these little hooks. I'm not really sure what they're for. I can't remember the name of it, but none of the others have that. So it kind of shows that, how much so it's a different species, even though they look the same. And that's why sometimes GRN is sold as OG, even though 99.9% of people only have GRN. GRN actually is really has a bit of a sad story. There's a couple of people now that have got it, but there probably won't be any more. Every location they found it, mining has completely taken them out now. The limestone mining in Thailand. But so yeah, it's a bit of a shame. It's one that I don't have, and unfortunately I probably will never have, just because it's hard to breed, and they've just been kind of decimated so far. They might find another colony somewhere, but so far they've not.
No, that's it. So that's then a true hybridization of a couple of pods. So it's interesting that then the general, because I wasn't aware of that the general sort of pod world is sort of okay with hybridization, because normally you don't see that across the wider invert world.
Yeah, no, that's why I was shocked the opposite way around, because for years, and basically since I've been in this hobby, everybody's been about hybridization. There's some things that people would say, and I'm like, oh, no, you couldn't quite do that. Like, someone came to me once and was like, oh, what about if you was able to hybridize they asked me, can you put Cubans with, I can't remember what species it was now, but Cubans with like Panda Kings, for example, and get a spiky Panda King. And I was like, no, that's not really how it works. Like, there has to be, it would, if it was going to work, it'd have to be very, very similar. And as such, people are on board with it. I think, though, that it would probably change in time. Vampire crabs, they were found I think they were really found in the past 5 years. So I guess they've
no, they've found
well, maybe 10 years.
They've just started to become more popular, but there's a load that aren't even speciated, and there's well over.
Yeah,
I mean,
so they have the same
that are years old that say over 50 species, and they're a good probably 10-year-old books now, sort of thing.
Okay, but they have the same thing, right? As pods, where it's just their scientific name and SP, and then they have SP Halloween.
Not for all of them.
No,
there are some.
Okay.
You do. So you do have just some Generelli, But the Donerelli, there's so many different colours that get put under Donerelli.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
Are they not kind of thing?
Yeah.
And so, some just come in as SP. I think sometimes a lot just put them as SP because it's easier. Sometimes for some of them, and stuff. But there's none that are speciated,
Mhm.
and then a load that aren't at all, sort of thing. So, like by and large, from mine, I don't really, as much as I keep vampire crabs, and I've bred a couple. Now,
Couple. How many have you got? Babies.
I haven't counted the babies. Whenever I get new ones, I always keep get the same colours and just keep those together.
Yeah.
Because it's that thing of I don't keep different ones mixed together. Mainly because it's like, well, I don't want them to potentially hybridize if they would.
That's the thing, because it's a complex animal. I think this might be the difference. However, I tell myself I'm wrong here, because I think maybe the difference is because they're a complex animal. We've seen what's happened in like what do you call it? I'm not big in spiders. Like spider web pattern or something like that means that they have like respiratory issues or something like that. We've seen hybridization and specific morphs causing damage. And as such, we've translated that into other inverts and reptiles and so on and so forth. But then again, a mantis is less complex, but people wouldn't want to hybridize that. So it is weird. I guess the only maybe explanation is that isopods, I feel there's more. Most people I talk to have never, like that I sell to as well, haven't kept inverts before. Isopods their first, because it's bringing in so many new people. It's very easy to keep pet. You haven't got to worry about it biting. You ain't got to worry about high food costs, complicated care. So there's so many new people coming. They don't really understand the dangers of hybridization and what it could lead to. Because, I myself have hybridized the hematite and the firefly. But in 5 years' time, if I don't know, there's some sort of deformities happening and so on and so forth, then I'm going to feel really, really quite terrible. That's the thing with the inexperience. I've been in inverts for only a couple of years. If I was 10 years down the line, I probably never would have even tried, but I didn't think of it at the time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chris, I don't know if you name his message there about the crabs.
So I did just see that. So they're going to need slight brackish water. I'll be nicking Alice's water for a hermit crabs.
Yeah, I've got to spend like £300 or £400 or something on tanks now, because I went to the show and I won the tank from the raffle, and I was like, oh cool. I was told I can put vampire crabs in here. Gone over there, I was like, oh, how many can I put in there? And they're like 15, 20. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do 15 because it's a small number, smaller number than 20. Don't want to go all the way. And I was like, yeah, I'll get 15. And then I find out pretty much, and they said, look, keep it on Coca Cola. You don't need no water or anything like that. And I come home and I need a paludarium. I haven't got a paludarium.
You don't need a paludarium.
You don't.
Shall I show you my? I've actually got one of my white claw vampire crabs set up here. I'll show you the complexity that you need. That.
Oh, in the tub.
Yeah, there's 2 vampire crabs in there, and that's all you need.
Oh, okay.
Right. You don't need any fancy bioactive setup or anything. Phil taught me this. Phil said as minimal as possible, and they will breed.
That's how I've bred two types. Every single when I put them into bioactive plant setups, they don't do well. I find.
Okay.
Keep them in squalor, they thrive.
Mm-hmm.
I will not panic so much then, because I've just because obviously I've got a whole mix out of all of them. They're all mixed species as well, and I was told, they're all going to fight and they're all going to kill each other, and I'm like, oh my god, what have I done?
There's always potential, and males will fight. Certainly, sort of thing. And if you ain't got like 3 miles, you might get 2 that pick on one kind of thing. So what a lot of people do if they have like lots of males, like as shown where we might see lots being kept together, and they're all males, but they'll be fine, but they won't necessarily get like the complete ganging up kind of thing, and stuff. But I do with a lot of mine for breeding is literally a pair in a tub, essentially for breeding them. So there's that's what if you want to do a paludarium, get yourself a paludarium. But I've found mine I find they do better not in that sort of style.
Okay, well, I think that like you made me panic less is the thing. I probably will do a paludarium just because like it looks pretty and I want to do that eventually. But I was thinking like, oh, I've got to buy all this stuff tomorrow because otherwise they're going to die. Which
you don't have to do that because pretty much all my I've got a couple of glass tanks with vampire crabs in. Pretty much never see them.
Yeah. I was told
they are nocturnal, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I don't see babies either, but the ones that I've had babies on they've just been in tubs. And literally, I mean, if you look into, I can show you a tub of babies, and you'll look and go, that looks disgusting, Phil. What the hell's that? But that's what they're thriving in. And for me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, all the animals tell you if they're thriving.
And they even, when I saw that's when I got me thinking, well, actually, they come from, found around basically the mangroves and stuff, with it on the riverbanks and stuff. And it's like, well, actually, the riverbanks probably just sodden substrate and a bit of rubbish. And look, we took a little section of it. Actually, it probably looks really, really rubbish.
Really close, yeah.
Sort of thing, and that's what they're thriving on.
Well, that has put my mind to ease. I might have to ask you to send me some photos of what you've done, just so I can, because I am worried about them fighting interspecies. So if there's a way that I can keep them all in a way that isn't going to cost me thousands of pounds to buy a setup for each one, then I'd love to do that. I don't think you can completely eliminate fighting like that.
No,
but interspecies fighting seems to be more.
I mean, personally, I would say separate the different species, sort of thing.
Yeah, because there's like 7 species there, or 6 species I think they gave me, and there's 17 in total. So, but that's cool.
Sort of thing. And then Amy just put there as well. Like, if you want to go down the route of obviously display enclosures and stuff, give customer query a shout.
Yeah, so I'm really bad on the phones, but I've been putting off talking to him for about 2 months until I saw him at the show because I'm going to get a big tank. I'm going to make a video on it. I'm going to do a big tank, and it's going to have 10 of every L'Oreella and every Ardentella in, and it's just going to be for beauty. It's not going to be for reproductive. I'm not trying to hybridize anything. It's just going to be like that. And if I can afford it, big question, if I can afford it, is I'd love to get like a small camera that I can maybe like just set up a live stream, because there'll be enough in there that people should constantly see them, because they are the most active species. And I might put some, bottom dwellers, like some panda kings or something at the bottom, because, most of these are going to be arboreal. So that'd be really cool. Long-term projects, probably going to, cost a bit, but
sorry, I think Jeremy's regretting buying those American cockroaches.
I said he would.
He just messaged saying that they could climb past ant oil and anti-climb oil.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever buy American cockroaches.
Oh my god, he's gonna be overrun.
Oh, no, he's just saying that they can't climb it, but they eventually will.
Oh, they can't. Oh, did he say?
He's put can't.
Oh, I thought he said can.
You read that wrong.
Give them a couple of sprays, get that oil wore down,
but
and
they
get out.
Okay. Well, that's a plus. At least they can't get past that then. Still would buy them.
Yeah, not. I mean, yeah, not that species. Even though, like, yeah, the ones you got are being a dark morph, and even some of them apparently being the venom morph. With the being black and the white eyes. They, yeah, some are going to get out and infest the garage. His garage, probably. I got the hope for his sake they don't. But I really hope I'm wrong. But
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have them in this house. And that's one reason why I'm a bit dubious on hissing cockroaches, because they can be escape artists.
yeah, at least they won't completely infest the place though.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're big enough, and you're like, oh, there you are. And they're slow enough, so you can pick them up.
That's true.
So,
good luck to Jeremy with that.
Yep.
I wouldn't want it to be me.
Nah.
I really want to feed cockroaches to my ants, but I just I'm terrified of them getting it. I've heard so many stories of people getting like a delivery of red runners, and the box has just been a bit damaged in postage, and now they've got red runners for 2 years, and people dropping things in their bedroom, and I've got enough crickets running around the house. Like it's I can deal with crickets.
Scott was like a few years ago, but he had like a delivery. And it was either like, it maybe even been like 2 separate deliveries of like one of red runners and one of like just like of crickets or whatever, where it's bulk deliveries and the bags hadn't even been done up; they were just loose. But then also holes being cut in the box for ventilation and all this at the other. I just got all this live food roaming around everywhere. It's like, no. So yeah,
no,
it'd be funny if we do get a message at some point from Jeremy being like, "Oh no, these American cockroaches have got out."
Yeah, it was like, "Oh, my mum just found some American cockroaches in the house."
It'd be a local newspaper story. American cockroaches infested England.
There's plenty of them
thrown out of house.
We're all infested. Well, we're infested with the Australians. It made me laugh that there was a tub full of Australian roaches for sale yesterday. When I'm like, I get rid of so many of those. Maybe I need to start tubbing them up and bring them to shows.
I think you can pretty much do everything now. I thought it was mad when I first got into ants. Like I thought it was mad that I could like go out on ant flying day and collect
a few queens.
Yeah.
Just the guy in the back.
Pocket money. You know what I mean? Like that was mad to me. Yeah, ants are cool, man.
Ants are cool. Cool. I enjoy my my Venators.
Yeah, they're still going well.
Yeah.
They're a really cool species. I've got I think I've got 4 or 5 of them still. Like they're so cool, man. You just can't I keep saying that I'm going to bring them to a show, and I'm just like, no, can't do it. Just can't do it.
Yeah, no, really, yeah, and I've had them now. Yeah, well, good few years because I've got them at a Seas show from Ants HQ. I don't think they've been at Seas for the past couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's really cool.
But it's also very nice because I'm just glad that they are doing well and carrying on. Because when I got them, pretty much all the ant people were like, well, we've got that species, well, they just died, and you're not going to be able to keep those alive, and this at the other.
I mean, it's quite true. Because 90% of the ones you buy are dug up, right? So it means that they die usually, but it's not to say it's impossible. People say things are impossible every day. We prove them wrong. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I knew the same information, which was that they were hard, and that's why I got 10 of them. I do that with pretty much any new species I want. If I can, then I'll get 10 of them, knowing that I'll sell either at a small loss or the same price or a pound profit for the ants. This is what I did before the isopods. So I could just keep the healthiest kind of colony for myself, the one that's doing the best. And the Venators, yeah, they did really, really well. I was also surprised. I was like, oh, I'm going to lose every single one of these. I've got you're not going to be able to see it, but I've got a species of blue ant. Which you might have seen, you might have seen a blue ant on, like, if you've watched Ants Canada recently. It's not the same species, but yeah, I've got. Oh, where's the fucking? You're not going to be able to see it. Yeah, they're in there. They're really small. I have to take a photo, but they are.
I think I recognise that jar.
Yes, yeah. They are incredible. They are absolutely incredible.
Chris is showing one of his vampires.
What color is that? What species is that?
That's White Claw.
Ah, it's really pretty.
Yeah, it seems to be what chilled.
Hmm.
And jump into your enclosure.
That's one of the things that they constantly said on all the videos I watched last night, which is that if once they get captive bred, they become quite docile and not so skittish, because apparently, they're usually quite skittish creatures running away all the time. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully, I didn't ask if mine were wild caught, but hopefully, if I have some babies, then I can have some ones that come on my hand like yours.
Pretty much all the ones
Hey, Leah.
between for sale are going to be wild. Hey, Leah. So, and that's purely because the captive bred ones are going to be a lot more money.
Yeah,
Normally.
and probably not in numbers enough yet to be established, right?
No, and they take a long time to grow.
Oh, okay.
How big are your ones, Phil?
My biggest ones, probably about that.
Oh, wow.
That's quite a while ago.
They've grown since, they hatch and stuff, and they're just brown. They look, to most people, you go, that's a boring little brown crab. And they don't get. I think they don't get their colours until they're like nearly adult.
Oh, okay.
Which by that point could be a few. I don't know how long it takes yet. I need to go back to my books maybe and see if it says in there in any of my books on vampires. That's potentially a few years of rearing them up.
Okay.
Then sell, and it's all like, if you spend a few years rearing them up, you're not going to sell them for 6 to 10 quid.
No, you can't. Yeah. This is the whole, this is the whole argument with wild caught and captive bred. We're not trying to scam people. It's just that it takes a long time to captive breed things. It takes a long time for some things to grow, and things that don't take long.
And that's the same in every industry. It's the same. Scorpions. Yes, you can get an adult Asian forest scorpion that shows for like a tenner.
Mm-hmm.
And a captive bred baby one is also probably going to be about a tenner.
Yeah, because it takes a long time,
sort of thing. They're basically a very sort of similar price to each other. Or if they are cheaper, they're only going to be a few quid sort of cheaper than the adult.
Sort of, and it's all about demand as well, right? Like, I don't know how in demand scorpions are, but I guess if they were really high in demand, the captive breds would probably be even more than.
Again, the scorpions have increased in demand in the past few years, largely down to people like Tim Baxter and Julius Gork, stuff are now combined. There's a really sort of spearheaded a lot of that. It's the breeding of them again that takes time. I've got a female that I paired in March 2023, and I'm still waiting for her to give birth.
It's a little while, right?
I was like, God damn it, just give birth to me. Just give me babies.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And then it's a whole case of hoping that the female will look after the babies and not eat them, or not just kill them or anything. And then
the survival rates and
making sure that you're checking on them enough that when they start coming off the mum's back, you can basically save them before she starts eating them, potentially, sort of thing. But also not disturbing her so much that she just starts eating them anyway.
Yeah.
Some of them, and it's it's a nightmare sometimes. And then you got loads. No, still hasn't given birth, Leah. It's huge. Still not given birth. And others give birth since. I mean, I've actually got one. Saying here, there's a little one because I'm waiting for them to come off the back of a trailer Samarani. And
they look so strange when they've got the babies on them.
At a guesstimate, she's got over 50 babies on her.
Wow.
That's literally that is a guess.
Yeah.
Fun breeding feeding times to come.
But like, she's absolutely covered. They're underneath her as well. They're covering her eyes. But they've all molted because all the white bits, they're all their molts, all the baby molts, all the little white dots that you see there. So molts all around the place. So they've molted once so far. There were little pink tips to the pedipalps. I'm just waiting for them literally. So they're sitting on my table, so that every day I just instantly see them to see if they've started running around yet or not, sort of thing. And then when they do, take her out.
So when they start running around, you say take her out. Will you keep them together for a little while, or will you separate them into pots?
Like start separating all them into little pots. So, it might say a little bit, which might lead to a bit of cannibalism.
Mm-hmm.
But arguably as well, you can argue that weeds out some of the weaker ones.
Yeah.
Sort of thing sometimes. And so, and it depends on the species. Like things like Heterometra just had about some babies come off Heterometra silenus. She unfortunately started attacking them, so I ended up having to pull as many as I could off her. Very gently because they're still white, but they will rear up together because they're more communal.
Okay, I see.
And I've got like baby spinifers together that I've been rearing for nearly a year now, actually, and they're still together and absolutely fine. So, and picked up one yesterday, a nice big chunky female Heterometra lauticus. So she's probably gravid. She certainly looks it. Amy saw that one, and if she is, and that's all successful, they'll all be reared up together.
Oh, okay.
So there's some that you can,
and
some that you can't. Yeah, if you can rear them up together, it's so much easier just to be like, kept chucking a load of food, sort of thing, and stuff, and leave them to it. With these little ones, I'll probably leave them together a little bit and just chuck in springtails. Sort of thing, because they're gonna be minuscule.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
No, I find any of that daunting. We both had scorpions, same species with babies, and instantly when the farm bag was mad, rushed to separate them all. That's what he was. Because I was like, I don't know if they're gonna eat each other. So I was I'm not taking the risk. Sort of thing.
I had to do the same with my Thai bush scorpion. She started eating the babies, so I had to take them off the back as well.
Well, that's why, because that's what this one is the Thai bush. It's literally like, that's why it's on my table, so every day, and I can keep a really close eye on her without, fully disturbing her. So it's like, right, now it's time to get to work, kind of thing. So, whereas, there's some that you don't have to sort of necessarily worry too much about. But is it? Yeah, and that's why, scorpions, you can, potentially pay the same price for a baby as you would an adult.
Yeah.
But that's because, the adult, chances are it's wild caught.
Still. Yeah, you haven't had to put the time in it. It takes so much.
You're hard pressed to find captive bred adults at the moment.
Yeah.
And if someone's reared it from day one, you know, they're going to be charging a lot for that, as they should.
Yeah,
Because
because they
that's an
live quite a
investment.
long time as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot longer than people think. You know, you're still looking at, you know, some of them, what, 20, 30 years for some of them, sometimes even longer.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I would have guessed around 7. 20 years is mad.
I've
30 years is even
got
mad.
one. It's you know, grown on scorpioning, Hadrian's Podicins. It's a captive bred baby, because you can't get those from the wild. And it could be 10, 15, 20 years before that's adult.
What? That's insane.
And then those ones, if I've only got the one, that's that species one of the first scorpions I ever kept. I had an adult, and as an adult, I had it for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
As an adult, but those ones, their gestation can be like 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is it's insane.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah, I would also be charging top dollar if I had to put 20 years into something. That's
so it's yeah. So it's absolutely like, yeah, it's mental. So, but Donald the whole wild caught and category, because scorpions most of the time are going to be wild caught or captive born, not captive bred. But there are certainly some truly captive bred ones. Like this one here. These are not captive bred. These are captive born because she is a wild caught adult.
Yeah. That's a big discussion we've had recently. Is like what
Sort of
understanding
thing.
what captive
And that's
born
me being pretty
captive-
open.
Is it captive born or captive raised?
Both mean the same sort of thing. Like, these were born in captivity, but she wasn't paired in captivity.
No.
Sort of thing. And I'm going to be open and honest about that. You know, I bought her from the spider shop. Sort of thing. You're looking at going, oh, that's quite a chunky one. That's probably a female, which it is. She's probably gravid. Sort of thing. I want to get a male for her, so that then I can captive breed her, and that'll be my long-term plan. Same with the Paraphylogopus spinageris, the desert one that me and Amy had babies of. That's a wild caught female, so they're captive born. But yesterday I picked up what looks like a male, so that I can hopefully then pair them up and stuff. Which might take then a year before she again. But that's what it is, and stuff. And so it's cool, the scorpion thing. There's a big market for scorpions, and there's a lot that still coming in wild caught, and I do sell wild caught scorpions. I've got some wild caught scorpions that I've bought to sell on, and so by some of that, so go on to in terms of the isopod side of things, of the thing that was released sort of today with there's yourself, Bugs and Beyond,
the
Oven and Ashpods.
Yeah, there's also I would say there's a lot of people not on that list that are doing the same thing. They just didn't want to be on the list, which I completely understand. And I think to be honest, I think wild caught has a massive stigma about it right now. Like, there is so much talk about it, and I think that straight off the bat, if anyone ever reads that, it's not an attack on wild caught. We understand there is a place for it, 100%. We've never had an issue. I mean, isopods have been around for a while. They ain't going to be here if you ain't getting them wild caught. It's only a recent hobby. There's 100% a place, and there will be a place for wild caught until they're established. I think the difference with specifically the statement that we released, and anybody, I'm sure a lot of you will see it. People are going to be handing out flyers, going to be on websites, all sorts. So, and all that is just us kind of going, look, as sellers, there's some practices that I'm going to be changing as well, which I'll talk about. But as sellers, we're committing to now only selling captive bred. And the thing is, with, for instance, you were talking about scorpions. You told me that's 7 years, 20 years, 30-year project, right? So it's impossible for you to do that. Nigh on impossible for you to do what we're doing with the isopods. The difference with the isopods is we can breed them you know, within 1 to 3 years and get them captive bred. This is really not.
Yeah.
I know it might sound like a long time to some people, but you know, but it's not. So we have I can't think of the word, but like we're lucky in that sense that we can do that, and that's why it's so kind of sad that the reason we've made the statement basically is that we've become really, really aware of the amount of wild caught that's being imported. You know, anyone that's in my group, I've always been open and honest, and there's a lot of other sellers have been open and honest about what they do, where they get things from. It's never been a secret. And there's been a harmony as such in that, you know, people get new species. But what I hadn't ever seen before until around April is people buying thousands of things that were established. I mean, seeing orders for 1,200 duckies, for example. I mean, I know a lot of people that have kept duckies for many years, and I could tell you they have hundreds in their colonies. There's no reason, you know. I even saw someone yesterday that had been keeping duckies for 3 years. And I know for a fact, pretty much, that she had raised them herself, and she sold 500. It kind of just shows that you don't, you know, need this. And what's happening basically is that the higher end stuff is thousands are being imported, and it seems that it's been happening every 2 kind of weeks by, you know, some new people, and we've just kind of gone like, you know, since in April we didn't think of nothing of it, and then kind of, you know, in the past month, you know, I've got really fed up, and a lot of other people were really fed up, and I was just like, look, someone suggested making a group, and I was like, do you know what? Let's not suggest it. Let's just do it. I don't, you know, there's a lot of drama in the Arspod world, as there is every world, and it was just like, let's work together. We don't have to be mates, but let's work together on this, because, you know, as much as people might not like a specific or they like this seller or whatever, I can guarantee you that a lot of the sellers, even if you think they're doing it just for money, the money aligns with the ethics in this case, in this one specific case, which is that buying in the wild caught is damaging the ecosystem. I mean, pink Lambos, you can't really get in the wild that much anymore. They're R13 ducky, there's so many different ones that are, you know, just being kind of wiped out. And just the numbers, and people aren't keeping them alive. You know, they're getting in 100 and they're losing 80% because they don't really know how to keep the wild caught ones. And, you know, and in that time they've sold them to customers, you know. And I had a customer yesterday, broke my heart, not yesterday, the day before, come to me, and they've been in the hobby for 8 weeks, £7,000 of their money, and pretty much everything is dying. And I felt awful for this guy. I really, really did. Like, honestly, I must have spoke to him for a while, and it pulled my heartstrings, because like we work really hard for our money, whether it's £7,000 or £100,000 or £10, whatever it is. So like, to have been sold on the line, and he's like, oh well, I want to get out of the hobby now because I can't keep things. It's just sad, because the thing is, if I sell something as wild caught, which I've done, I've always been honest, you know the risk. When we go to Spider Shop, we know the risk. It's wild caught. We don't always blame ourselves. It might still be sad, but we know the risk, and I think that's the biggest difference, is that because the money is so much higher for captive bred, they're like forced. They're like, well, they're not forced because they're doing it for their own volition, but they're like forced to say, oh, it's captive bred, because they want the higher money. They want to show that they've done the work. And I get the allure. It's a lot of money, but it's just having so much of an impact. I mean, like, for example, like prices of like Scarlets around a year ago, about 200 quid, and they've slowly declined in price, which is good, because lots of people are breeding them and they're becoming more accessible. Price drops are a good thing if it's for the right reasons, which is people are breeding them. However, you know, since about April, that price has gone from 130. Within 2 months, it was 75. Then it was 65, and then now they're being sold for £6 for 5 quid. And you know, that's just even disrespectful to the animals themselves, that they're being sold for basically what they're being sold for in Vietnam. You know, they're being plucked out of their homes as such for really a nefarious process. And a lot of people might go, okay, well, no, I was doing it because I wanted to breed them. And I'm like, but it is kind of nefarious in that way. Like, you know, if you're doing hundreds, like, I can understand, even when, like, if I get a new species I'll probably get anywhere from, sometimes you can only get 8, sometimes you'll get 12, sometimes you might be lucky enough to get 50. Great. And if I can get that many, that's great. But I'm not going back for another 50 and another 50 and then 100 and then 1,000. It's just not conducive. And what I also don't do is, if you, let's say I was into scorpions and you've got loads of captive bred and they've been established for a while, I'm not going to try and save myself 10 quid by getting them wild caught, because it's just not worth the ecological impact. Buy it from the people, and they've done the work for you. It takes years to get something truly captive bred, even in isopods. And you kind of like throwing it people's faces, oh, well, I've got wild caught, or I've got captive bred when you haven't, because what's going to happen is I'm a customer, I buy 10 off you, Phil, all captive bred, amazing, they're doing great. I want to boost my colony. Oh, Phil, sorry, I'm not in the right position. My car's broke. I don't quite have the money. So what I do is Tim down the road is selling them for 5 quid. I go and buy them from Tim. He says they're captive bred, and I believe him because he's only a small seller. You put them together, and then your survival rate of babies goes from maybe 60, 70% all the way down to 20. And you're having issues, and then you see that like one of them's got like a worm infected, and then it's spreading your colony. And I just promise you, it's just not worth it. And as such, going through all this, I've realized myself, I am in some cases the problem, right? Which I didn't think I was, because everybody else does it, right? Because when I get a new species in, I usually will sell 5 or 10 to recoup some of the cost. Right, so because these things cost thousands. For me to get the newest Aurora, it cost me close to £1,000 just for 10 of them. Right, in the first instance. So I would sell 5, recoup some of that cost, not all of it, but some of that cost, and then I would captive breed. That's the point of it. It was not harmful. I tell people it's captive bred. They've got a chance to breed it because I've got the contacts. I was the one that got it. They're getting a deal. Basically, they're paying for the contact, right? To get the species. But I'm looking at people that I really respect in the hobby, like Ads. We've spoke a lot recently, and he says, Josh, like I get things, and it might take me 18 months to sell it. And I've just realized that what, they do actually breed relatively fast. If it's damaging the hobby, right? Like if this never happened, if the thousands never happened, I probably would have continued on the path, because I wouldn't have quite seen, because it wouldn't have been as damaging. Taking 50 from the wild is not as damaging what's going on, but it's damaging. So, what's coming out of this is I've gone, okay, well, if it's something that we all need to agree on to sell captive bred, and some people's opinions is that you shouldn't be selling any wild caught ever, I'm quite happy to change that business practice. So literally from now on, Aurora was the very last thing I sold as wild caught. And again, I want to emphasize that I only ever buy wild caught of new species that aren't established in the UK or Europe. But now even the new species I won't be selling until I've got them BC/CB. BC at a complete minimum. Like there'd have to be a reason that I'm selling them. Like maybe there's hundreds and they're just doing incredibly well. Because I think without that, people just they're just lose. There's a lot of money to lose, and people are just really mistrusting of the hobby right now. I can understand it. So if I can do that, and it means that other people potentially follow that, then great. And it does mean a few things. It does mean, for example, I've been very fortunate that because of how I work, I'm able to bring in a couple of new species every month. It might change now that I'm only able to do that once every 3 months, or even once every 6 months. Because obviously, like when I buy something, it might cost me £2,000 or £3,000. I've got to wait 1 to 3 years for that to come back to me. And you know what? I'm in a fortunate position. I can do that, and and that's what I'm going to do from now on. But yeah, that's basically the crux of all of it. But we're not trying to take down small sellers. This is not a attack on anyone. It's not what you've done before. It's not what you're going to do in the future. It's literally just like, these are our new T's and C's, and if we don't stick to them, then you need to be calling us out, because we're damaging your hobby. We can't just be ignorant to the fact anymore. We can't say, oh, we didn't know. And you know, it would apply to anyone that wants to be a part of it, and if they want to make their own statement, and maybe they go, okay, well, I won't sell wild caught old species, but I will sell wild caught new species like most people do. That's fine. That's their prerogative. We're not going against anyone. This is what people are comfortable with. And equally, you know, there's been some talk about price fixing. We've never spoke about prices. You know, at shows, we all know people might go, oh, what are you selling this for? I've always said, and I always will, I sell things for what I sell them for, because if I've got 100 cappuccinos and I need to get rid of them, I can't match 60, 70 quid because they're just not going to sell as fast. I need to kind of offload some before the colony crashes. So price fixing is just not a thing. And I don't know where like that type of stuff's come from, but yeah, I hope that kind of like reiterate what we're trying to work towards. It's just trying to be good. That's basically what it is. It's not anything.
Yeah, I think absolutely, and especially like, I mean, I've seen this for, you know, for years. I mean, even before I got like rubber duckies, you know, I've known wild caught ones to be sold at shows where people then hadn't done well with them, and there was in the early days of rubber duckies being in the hobby, and I was always like, at that time I was like, can't afford them. People aren't doing well with them. I'm going to wait until, you know, I can get them from a Captain Bread source where they're going to be that bit stronger.
Yeah,
kind of thing. And that's the thing. It's that being honest, and with the pods, especially the higher end, you know, Gabaras and Ardentella and the others, the Spikes and stuff. They're amazing, but the wild caught ones are really only for those real specialist keepers and breeders, really. Good. That again, like I say, no, some of these are probably not going to make it because of the toll it takes to ship them over. And so all the way from Vietnam, Thailand, wherever. And so, and I'm assuming like there was, can't remember the name of who it was. They're not around anymore anyway. There was that used to do all these like essentially pre-shipment sort of deals.
Oh no, that's terrible. Okay.
Yeah. And of course, in the end, it was like a lot of time people were giving them, you know, giving this person their money, and the stuff was just never turning up anyway.
Yeah, it dies in transit or
and stuff, you know, or and us, you know, they even and this sort of was at shows as well, and people would post up saying that they bought rubber duckies from them, and within a couple of weeks, they were all gone and stuff. And nowadays, you know, so rubber duckies, it's like almost everyone should be able to keep those nowadays, really, because we know what we're doing. So, like,
but that could change with all of the imports of the rubber duckies. It's I don't know if you know, it's apparently happening with mantises. You know, I was talking to Fran with Rick, and orchard mantises are really struggling at the moment because of all of the wild caught imports of oofs, right? So it's not just the isopod world. Like imports are becoming too accessible, I think.
Yeah, and you know, in the reptile world, you know, we're talking about quarantine. In tarantula, we sort of did a bit when there was an issue a couple of years ago with nematodes and stuff. But a lot of time people get a new whatever, you know. Well, duckies. I got some more duckies, rubber duckies at the Bristol show. I've kept those separate from my colony, mostly because, well, going from possibly wild caught ones. I don't know.
Yeah,
they look like they probably are because of how kind of clean they look, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can usually tell, to be honest.
And like it's like, oh, they're
Especially
chunkier than most and stuff. They're very, very clean. There's actually babies in there now. I sort of found babies today. So Manco even. And but I was like, these are being kept completely separately. So I was like, I'm buying these because these look very, very clean as new genetics. Sort of coming in.
Well, that's the other thing.
Eventually,
it's genetics,
will go into my colony, but they're going to be kept separate for a while.
Yeah, and there's a place for that. You know, if for example, in 4 or 5 years' time, we notice that the populations of scarlets are crashing across the board, right? Then it makes sense to start getting some new blood in low numbers. And I really do have to emphasize low numbers. These thousands just are not sustainable.
Yeah.
And introducing that slowly back into the hobby. But we aren't really seeing that massively. We're seeing it more with the Ardenteller, I do understand, but we're also not. I actually think that this whole new blood with Ardenteller every 1 year, every 6 months thing might actually just be because of how newly wild caught they are. Because I don't quite put faith in it that they need new blood every 6 months. It doesn't quite make sense. You should get things from different sources. And another thing that I do, I don't really advertise it publicly because it's a bit of a pain. But if someone says to me, my colony's crashing, if you're, I think at some point, like your Diablos might have crashed or something like that, so you say, Josh, my Diablos are crashing. And then literally I was going, okay, at the next show, let's just swap 5. You give me 5, I give you 5. You got some new blood reintroduced then. It's not cost you anything. It's not cost me anything. We've just swapped. That's all it is, and it keeps that. And that's the type of thing, trades have gone in the hobby, and I hate that. We need to start getting back to trading. We don't need all this money constantly being pumped in. But I think the reason that we can't trade is because people are not getting to the point where they can really trade, because they're buying them well caught, they're dying in a year or less, and the babies, they might have had babies in the first couple of weeks, but now they're all dead, and they ain't got it to trade. So then they have to put another 100 quid into another species, and so on and so forth. So I just think that I just think that it's a big problem, and I think that we might have got there in 5 or 10 years anyway at the rate we were going, with hundreds. But the fact that it's just been thousands, and I do mean thousands, every couple of weeks of certain species,
it's just not sustainable.
No, I mean, I've got contacts in Thailand, for example, and when they're trying to look for new species, they are hard pressed to find 10, 15. So when people are buying hundreds or thousands from Thailand specifically, that's an entire cave population gone. They're not as they don't boom as much as people might think. And then with the Ardenteller, it's a little bit different, because the Ardenteller, they do breed more, they're more accessible, there's a few more in the wild, but there is no way they can support thousands. And it's not just the UK, the US is the worst for it. There's someone that I know in Thailand that says that they ship duckies to one client 1,000 every 2 weeks. Disgusting. It's just not. It's not right. And they themselves, the thing is, what we do have to remember is in Thailand and Vietnam, these people have nothing, but they're also still affected by what's going on. Like, honestly, like they really are. People might not believe it because they're part of the problem, but they are. They're like, wow, I can't believe why they would take all the duckies. It's damaging my area. But they're kind of like forced into, because they've got no money, and they live in huts, or they whatever the reason is, they just don't have as good quality life as we do. So they are unfortunately forced into situations. But I can guarantee you, some of them, maybe not all, but some of them really are impacted by what they've got to do, and don't like it. So if those people are feeling horrible about it, then we should certainly be feeling horrible about it in privileged countries, especially like the UK, America, and most European countries.
Shipping thousands every couple of weeks is just that's not sustainable. And
they die, or they get caught.
Hey, man.
Anyone that's just joined, I think I've missed a few people, but but yeah, and it's like, well, for me in my head, it's like, if I had 1,000 rubber duckies coming, I'd be like, well, I don't need to get any more ever again, because like that should be that boom. Well, within a year you got so many of it. Like, everyone just take them. Sort of thing.
But me and Josh were talking about this, and I said to him, someone buys 1,000, then they sell that 1,000. That's all the money they're going to get from that 1,000.
Yeah.
That's what people are doing. But the thing is, if people actually kept that 1,000 and but not that anyone should get thousands of isopods.
Yeah.
But if they actually sold the babies from that colony, then it's just continuous money.
It's
like what Phil would do.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When I get a new species, I'll get as many as I can within reason. You know, if they say, "Look, Josh, there's only 5 of this, I can only find it," I'm like, just leave it, because it probably needs those numbers. If they say, "Look, I found a couple of hundred, how many do you want?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll get 20 to 50." And if they say I found 1,000, I'll probably get 100. You know, because if they find that means there's a lot more, and that's it. And then I breed them. 1, it's hard to get things from these countries. 2, the legalities are very, very iffy, and it's a massive risk. 3, the isopods can die in shipping. There's so many, like, I could go on, you know, so many negatives to this, that, you know, we take the risk, we get them in the UK, and that should be it. We should be breeding them. And there's many things that I've paid for, like a lot of troglodillo species. I spent £2,000 on 4 new troglodillo species. I was only able to get 10 of each. Brought them into the UK, and they all died. I'm not going back for more. Now, it's not to say that they can't be captive bred. It's just that there's enough new isopods that we can focus on that are a little bit easier. When we've done all the new stuff that's easier to breed, then maybe we can try the stuff that just keeps dying. Because what's happening, you know, like giant Raichu, a beautiful pod, absolutely amazing. I'd absolutely love to have it, but no one in Asia can keep it. And if someone in Asia can't keep it in their own country with their own environments, their own temperatures, and their own fauna, what chance do we have in the UK? And people might disagree with me here, but it's just very unlikely. It's not that it's not going to happen. It's just unlikely. So why import? Because I know people are importing hundreds and then selling 5 to customers. Oh, they're BC. I was the first one to do it. Sorry, they're captive bred. I was the first one to do it when they were probably just BC, and then they're dying. You know,
hey, Brandon.
The first year, it might be the second year they die, or the third year that they all die. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. You can tell I'm quite passionate about it. It's just it's a bit sad, and it just means that, you know, if we don't stop it, the isopod hobby will go. You know, we'll end up going back to you know, the really common species. The common species are beautiful and cool, but the progression in the hobby will just slow right down.
Yeah,
it will just.
You know, hopefully, hopefully, you know, years to some, it'll kind of, you know, I think some of it is literally where there's the money hungry people that kind of go, oh, these are being sold for this, so if I can get them in for so much cheaper and I can undercut that person, I'm getting that money and not that person. Sometimes, not all of them, but there is that mentality, and
more than you think. Yeah.
There's this demand, but you know, once the prices go down, you know, to a certain point, they'll perhaps just move on to the next thing.
No, that's exactly what's happening. So with the Ardeen, the reason we've stepped in is like, we're like, you know, Ardeen sellers, probably nothing we could do about it. You know, we're all kind of upset and we're not sure what to do, but you know, then we started to realize it was actually going to be other species. We got, you know, we're able to get a hold of the lists that they're selling things for. For example, crocodile, that's a Filipino species, 2 months ago was €700 to import. Okay. Now that means in the UK, it's probably going to sell for anywhere from £350 to maybe even £500. Usually that would kind of be the markup on the captive bred babies, the first set. So a lot of people got them in. I wasn't one of them because I like them, but they're quite expensive for what they are, to be fair. And anyway, 2 months on, you can now buy them wild caught for 60 quid for 10. And it's thousands that people are getting in again. And that's what's that's what's happening with everyone. And the thing is that sometimes when they get 1,000 in, they're never restocked, and that's because they can't find them anymore because they've gone and wiped out the whole area. So it's like really quick. But this is the thing: people think that it's an endless supply. They're like, oh well, you know, I can get 1,000 pink Lambos in, sell them all. I'll get another 1,000 in, I'll sell them all. So they don't think to breed them. But it's not. Animals are not like, you know, you know, they just don't work like that. They don't work like that. And you know, survival rates in the wild are a lot lower.
Seasonal breeders, or have ones that have smaller broods or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's some Cubaris that have like 7 babies.
Yeah.
I think it was like apricot. It has 7 babies. Some things take years to grow. I mean, I've got Godzilla. I got the first captive bred babies, I was told, and it's almost a year on now. They've not even got color yet. So I think they probably live quite a long time. Maybe they live about 5 years, like the officials. But yeah, it's just not this like rotating door, and they just don't understand the damage. But what I will say is, it's a lot of people are like, oh, call out the sellers, and I think that really what we should be doing is giving people the benefit of the doubt slightly. I do think some don't deserve it, but if we get it out there that we're against this and it's an issue, then you can't claim ignorance, because at the moment, if you called out, you go, oh no, I didn't know it was an issue. And although pleading ignorance isn't an excuse, it is kind of like, okay, fair enough. But if we get it out there, we show it's a problem, we talk to customers about it enough, then you can't plead ignorance. And if you're found doing it, you're out of the hobby, because that's what this is. We might all be small businesses, but we're actually hobbyists, because none of us will do this for money solely. Money's
Spend far too much
a
money on
sideline.
license.
Yeah.
I spend more money than I do making money.
Yeah.
And then you think you make go straight back into them and like, oh, I made this. I can get this now.
I'm sure it's in the countries that maybe the spider shop. I'm sure the owners of that probably spend more than we think on their own stock or their own breeding projects and stuff like that. So we're all hobbyists. So again, if you're dishonest at the moment, you can plead ignorance. We're trying to change that. That's all it is. And I think talking about it with customers and not being scared to say something's wild caught, because there is a place for it. And I think people need to really realize that. If someone says wild caught, give them a thumbs up.
As long as it's done sustainably,
exactly,
is the key. And then one thing, one of my colleagues at work, my career at work, she went to a couple of days ago. She went. I can't remember if it was a zoo conference. I can't remember if it was BIAS or IASA, a zoo conference, and there was someone there from the aquarium side of things. And before she used to be very adamant against sort of wild caught anything and stuff. And the person from the aquarium side of things was like talking about, I can't remember what species of fish it was, but 8 species of fish, and it was all like these you'll see in most aquariums and in zoos if they've got a specialized aquarium bit sort of thing. Every single one you'll see is wild caught. They don't get captive bred.
Mm-hmm.
Can't captive breed them. And so, and instantly people go, well, why are you getting them there? That's really bad. And then you can kind of explain that actually where this particular species comes from is that all the ones that do get caught and get sold are actually all destined to die anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because of just the nature of where they are and stuff. So actually, people catch them out, they sell them, and the money goes to the local people in that area, and then they work with the land and stuff. And it's like, this is where actually wild caught can even actually sort of support conservation, and it's where it's not having a damaging effect; it's actually having a positive effect.
Especially with invasive species, right?
On the area. But it's not an invasive species.
No, I'm just saying, especially with invasive species, because you could get them wild caught without.
That really sort of opens their eyes of like, oh, sometimes there's actually good wild caught. It's not all bad. There is bad, but it's not all bad. And it's making sure that's all done sustainably, done sustainably, and then like I say, for some species, you're trying to get to a point where you don't need to get wild caught at all. Whether that be whether it's I suppose scorpions, tarantulas, whatever. So, but then from a conservation point of view, there's also that thing of like making sure that, because again, a lot of time where animals are being caught or whatever, where there's poaching going on for whatever sort of thing, whether it's rhino horn or whatever. Often it's the poor doing it, and you just need to give them a monetary income doing something. And if it's sustainable wild caught, where it's like, well, we're going to give you some money, we want you to protect the habitat as well, that sort of thing. They've then actually got an interest of like, well, if we protect this, we can then keep on selling these every so often. And stuff, and that's then for me that's a win-win. But that's certainly again not taking thousands every couple of weeks.
Yeah, and there's
Sort of thing.
there's people that I work with, you know, and people think this often. If someone says, "Oh, it's from Asia, it's got to be wild caught," and that's not actually the case. People in Asia keep pets just as much as we do. The standards might be different, but they keep pets, if not more than we do, because you know they have better accessibility, right? So you know, for isopods, I find it like really surprising that people can't believe that things from Asia could be captive bred. When actually they do most of the work. Like, you know, for example, I got amber ducky patternless. I didn't do that work. I had to buy that from someone in Asia that took 5 years doing that, you know. So there is these people that captive breed, and you can buy captive bred from any country. Yes, you have to kind of like vet the source. You can usually tell if they've got 1,000 of something, it's probably not captive bred. But you know, a lot of the time, if I was to get something, if it's a top up from Germany or something like that, they've got 10 available, 15 available, maybe 30 if it's something that's really breeding, or you know, anything more than that, you probably never order in, because if it breeds more than 30, you know, you don't need to. Like, you know, if you've got zebras, no one's going to import zebras, you know what I mean? Because they breed so fast. But so again, importing is not even the issue. It's doing everything sustainably, and it's just trying to keep the hobby fun and ethical. And there'll always be a place. There'll always be a place for wild caught, and we just need to stop being so scared to say it. And I think that's the thing. That's what's forcing people into saying they're captive bred. Because like, oh, if I say wild caught, but everybody's going to hate me. And to be honest, some will. Of course they will. But on the whole, a lot of people that are in the hobby a long time understand that there's a place for it. However, there is a flip side to that. If you're doing it and it's solely for money, yeah, of course you're going to be ousted. There's no two ways about it. But just don't do it. There's so much like, you know, the pet trade will never be a money maker. It just never will and never has. You know, that's why we don't have loads and loads of pet shops. You know, we have like one, you know, maybe two for dogs and cats, which are a little bit more, you know, big ones that are, you know, worldwide. So you know, it will never be a big money maker. So don't try and make loads of money. Have fun, love what you're doing, and like. That's it. And if you make 50 quid, that's great. And if you can quit your job and do it full time, but you don't make a lot of money, oh, amazing. And if you could do this and do that, but you've just got to stick to your morals, because otherwise, 10 years down the line, when everybody hates you, you're ousted from the hobby, and you realize that you've hated every single second of it because you've had to do things that you don't want to do. That's the saddest thing of it all, because actually there's really great people in the hobby. I think there's a lot more good people than there is bad people, and 100%. You know, I was the customer that lost the $7,000. He asked me who can I go trusted. Chris might even remember the customer, because I ended up pointing at him, pointing at your table, and so on and so forth. And I realised I'd listed 20 names before I got to in a couple of minutes. And then when I started thinking about, oh, who's the bad ones we know about, that list doesn't even fill my hands, you know. So it's like, it's only a very few. And even some of those, I do think that if they weren't so scared and they were honest, would be successful and would change their practices. And hopefully this gives them a way, because it's not a judgment thing. If you own up to something and go, yeah, I've done this in the past, you're going to upset a few people, but you know what, in the long run, in 5 years time, when people have forgotten, you'll be okay. Whereas, you know, if you can continue to lie, it will continue to be a problem.
Thing, John, you know, with the iSpods, something that's that bit more high end, that I'm, you know, that nowadays I'm, you know, going more and more into trying to get, you know, a few high end ones every now and then. If I know that, you know, if I get them and I see, oh, these ones are wild caught, these are captive bred, I would rather go for the captive bred, because I think, for me, I'm like, I stand a better chance of being successful with those ones I captive bred.
Mm-hmm.
But if I got ones that are wild caught, and so if it was open and honest, I'm like, right, there's risk. As I read that, I may not do well here. But if I got some that were sold as captive bred, but weren't captive bred, they're wild caught, and didn't do well with them, you know, that could crash with that. You know, if I was just starting out, He's like I'm done. I can't keep these sort of thing. I've done wrong. You know, people said that these should be easy or whatever, and I haven't been able to do it.
And that's another thing. People that's people's defense, and that really upsets me. Is they'll go, "Oh, it's easy." Well, no, it's not easy. You've imported loads and loads and loads. It's hard work. You know, I spoke to Chris about this when we were at the show. You know, if you're failing with something, talk to the person that's breeding them, and you know it'll be quite obvious that it's not as simple as it's made out online. The thing is, at the moment, we've just not had enough time in the hobby to really be putting care guides out. I'd never put a care guide out because there is none. It changes every day. Every week I learn something new. And so as such, if you're failing or if you're struggling, if you spoke to me 2 months ago, speak to me again, because I can guarantee you that something would have changed. You know, not always, but especially for the newer stuff, right? So there's stuff like that. But equally, as you say, when you've brought something captive bred and it's wild caught, you'll go to the person and they'll go, it's really easy. I don't know why. I've got hundreds, and then well, you know, they never offer to debug your issue. They never offer to look at what's going on, because they know that like when you ask questions, they won't be able to answer it. So it's an easy lie.
Whereas, like, a good example of where you do get help is where Cabarrus Cappuccino. My first cappuccinos I got from ads, micro exotics. You know, doing perfectly, but I didn't do well with them. I went back to ads like, don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm not doing well with them. And he just went, I've had similar issues. And literally, he was like, you might be keeping them too humid. He was like, I'm finding I like it that bit slightly drier than other Cabarrus. So I was like, that's probably what I'm doing wrong then. And so I've since then got more cappuccinos. This time, well, it was either last year or the year before, possibly, from Jeremy's Wild World. Fantastic, doing fantastic. And that's nothing against Ads were perfectly fine. They were doing fine for me, but they didn't breed and then they crashed.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, I've clearly done something wrong, sort of thing.
But that's because you're knowledgeable.
Sort of thing. But, you know, went back to Daz and stuff like that. I said when I got them again, I was like, right, I'm going to keep this. I actually think I put them in something too big as well, you know, to start with. Put them in something smaller, kept them drier. And then this was the first time I've gone, I can spare 5 of these. Sort of thing. If they sell themselves, I don't. I'm not too worried. Sort of thing.
I love those pods. They're great.
So, they're so great. And that thing, I was like, as a straight away, like, have you done? You know, tried it. You know, and as I was like, no, okay, I've kept them too humid. And looking back, I was like, I've kept them too humid.
But let's flip it around, right? Let's say again, you're a new customer. Okay, you've come because at the time you would have done that. This wild caught thing wouldn't have been around. Now let's come in. You're a new customer. All you're seeing is wild caught this, wild caught that, wild caught this. So you get the cappuccinos off ads, they die. You get the cappuccinos off Jeremy, they survive. I can guarantee you, a lot of those customers will go, "Yeah, I got them off of ads. They're wild caught." When it's not the case, and that's the thing. No one knows who to trust because of this whole wild caught thing, and that's why we put our names to it. It is not to scam people. It's not to say that it's no proof that we're captive breeding. It's literally to hold us accountable. That's it. You could never prove something's captive bred, and I'm quite certain of that because you'd have to have 24 hours on you. I could walk to the shop quickly and pick some up off some dodgy guy down the road. You know what I mean? You could never really test it. So customers at the moment, they're coming in and they're like, okay, well, if something does well with one and not the other, then it's because that person does wild caught. It's just not the case. No. There's a very small percentage doing wild caught. They're selling loads, so you've probably bought from them, but it's not all of these other sellers. For example, I do terribly with Porcelio. I don't think anyone's, well, except for maybe Expansus and stuff like that. There's no one out there selling wild caught Hoffman Seggy. You know what I mean? But I still do badly with them, right? And it's as you say, you've got to learn and you've got to but I know that because I'm knowledgeable. Again, if I was coming in because I've been in the hobby, if I was coming in fresh and the Hoffmans died, and then I got some off of Chris, and it just so happened that I keep them drier. Like I don't know that I've done anything different as such. I'm going, Chris, he's the only person in the world that does captive bred, and it's just like, it's not the case. There's a lot of us doing a lot of great work, and customers do need to tell us when things are going wrong, because we love these creatures and we want the negative feedback just as much as the positive feedback, because it could be that I'm doing really well with something and every single 5 count dies, and I could find out that maybe something in the moss killed them on transit, or I could find out, so you need the feedback so you can just, and it might be, okay, these pods can never be shipped. Ardentella are really bad with shipping. They get really stressed out and they die. So I've had to change my pots. That's why I went from the small pots to the pots with the big air holes. And now my deaths in transit have gone from if I send 10, 1 will die, to now if I send 50, 1 or 2 will die, because I've got that feedback. And you just got to keep doing it. But yeah, just hope that things get better.
I know from one of your statements is completely wrong, because there's no way you're ever going to get Hoffman Selly off of me, because I can't keep him.
Yeah, it's just, do you know what it is? Like with the Porcello and stuff, you just got to keep them so dry, it gives you anxiety. Like when you look at the tub, it's like, mate, there's no water in there. Like I'd be dying, but they survive, and you just don't trust it.
Yeah, with a lot of some of the Porcellos, but especially like the Hoffs, the black ribs, expanses and stuff. It's like, some of it it's so dry, but then you also got to make sure it's not too. It's like bone dry, but not bone dry at the same times. with them, because if you keep them far too dry, then they desiccate. Honestly, but then you try and put moisture in, and then they're like, "Oh, this is too humid."
I'm the same with emerald roaches. I don't know, Phil, how you keep your emerald roaches so basic, but I've
Sometimes
tried multiple times, and they just don't last.
I think sometimes we over, like I think I said to you at the show, we like overdo it. I haven't got babies yet. Oh, I've got to feed them more then, and then you've overfed them, or it can be just simple. Or I've looked at them too much. I'm opening the cage too much to check if they're actually still alive under the thing, or I've messed around with the soil.
Ignore them.
That's my biggest problem. I keep looking. I keep on wanting to look. Look, there's babies. Look, there's babies.
I mean, when I'm packing an order, like literally, it's like I'm in and out. And I know that, like, if I've done a big order, let's say someone brought like 15, 20 of something, and I've had to dig in there, I know that, like, really they're going to struggle for the next couple of weeks, because they, with isopods, they really struggle. And I'm sure it's the same with, many other inverts.
Yeah. Well, when you see again, the same place. You turn out, over the cork, whatever, and you're like, oh, there's loads. But if you do that, then in a couple of days' time, there's perhaps 1 or 2, or just about, and you're like, crap, what's happened to them? And it's like, no, they just buried themselves because you disturbed them. Sort of thing.
That's
but it's a learning curve, and we all go through it. You get them, and like first time when I first got my first rubber duckies, it was like, oh my god, and then it was like, force myself not to keep checking on them. Sort of reminds me, if I kept checking on them, they're not going to do well. Sort of thing.
Found that with my jumbo gastroids. I checked on them. There were loads of babies. I was like, yeah. And then I checked on them a few days later, nothing. I was like, they're all dead. Now there's millions of them in there because they've grown up.
We're hiding. So that's why, like, most of them, but when I do any maintenance, I'll turn the cork over once every few weeks or whatever, just to be like, yep, cool. Sort of thing.
We've got to appreciate them from afar. That's the thing. They're not used to our.
That's it. Yeah, some of them become so bold and they're always out and about, and it's like, hey, lovely, but the various panda kings, don't ever go checking for them because they're always out and about.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure I've got panda kings living in my carpet, because they just don't. I don't think you can kill them. I really don't. I really don't.
So, whenever I get something new, especially if it's, and I don't go as high, I think my highest end probably is now the blue whales. Probably that I've got from you, Josh. Probably they're probably my highest end at the moment. Probably.
They're a beautiful pod.
They're doing so well. because like the cherry blossoms have come right down in price now.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. I think that's another misconception in the hobby. Is like, so when we were talking about all this, people were like, "Oh, well, yeah, people must be wild caught importing cherry blossoms as well because the price has gone down." And the thing is, and I'm kind of doing probably myself and yourself a disfavor here by being so honest, but that's kind of who I am, and it's that cherry blossoms are from patchongs. If you've got patchongs, you've got 100, you've got 1,000. So they breed really, really well. The reason cherry blossoms held their value, same with rubber duckies, for so long, is because of the allure, the I can't think of the word, the demand, right? So, they stayed there for a long time. Now, what had happened is the catalyst was the wild caught. So prices were going down anyway. Customers were trusting prices less. Bids were going lower and so on and so forth, to the point where no one really wanted to pay for the cherry blossoms anymore. So their price has gone down. And, I think that, I think it's around like 130 to 150 now. You can probably find them a bit cheaper, but, that is a slightly bit more reasonable, right? It's like the pink pandas. I spent 380 quid for 10 when I first got into the hobby. Now, no one's buying in wild caught pink pandas. Also, wild caught cherry blossoms don't even exist, so I don't know why people think that. But no one's doing that. The reason the price has gone down is rightly so. The numbers go up, and the demand drops or stays the same, but it's just that the supply is there, so that's fine. The thing is though that a lot of pods don't breed that fast. The blue whales, yourself, if you tell me you've got hundreds, I'll be really surprised, and I want you to send me the recipe of what you've done. Even in 2 years, I'd be surprised if you have hundreds, right?
No, I've probably got a rough guess. I've probably got like maybe 20,
which is amazing. The people
15 to 20. Obviously not adults, so we never near adult. But doing like, yep, no, they're doing well. They're growing,
and that's an amazing.
I think actually, yeah, because I fed them today, and I found new manka in there.
There we go. It's just time, dude. That's the thing. Like, people want this whole the bark flip, which I love. Who doesn't love a good bark flip when you've got 100 under that? I get it, but you'll get there in time, and I promise you will get there in time if you keep up. And it might take a couple of years, but you guys keep scorpions for 30 years. Come on, you could wait a couple of years for a few little cool isopods, right? So, like, we just need to do that and stop chasing this. Oh, I've got to have 100 of high end. The only reason, myself, I've got lots of them is because I need to supply people. That's it. If I started off this as a hobbyist as all, and I started low, and I built the numbers, and then yes, I've added extras because demand went up, and I've been able to do that. But that's just where you got to start. And if the price drops, it's really disheartening, and I really get it. But realistically, for isopods, prices don't drop that fast. The only reason it's happening at the moment is because of the wild caught situation, and people just can't trust. For example, I've got Aurora. Now, before April, any new species I could confidently buy for £1,000. That's a really good deal, and I could get that in, and I could make my money back in a relatively short period of time, and then I'd be able to breed them. That was no more. So when I was offered the Aurora, I was like, dude, I can't do it. I can't spend £1,000 to find out that they're 10 quid next week. I can't do it. Luckily, that's not what's happened with them. But that has happened with lots of other species. The crocodile is going from, basically 800 to £1,000 to 60 quid. The scarlet's going from 130 to £6, and yellow arrows and every single, and it's just like, it's disheartening. And people that really truly do this put a lot of time into it. When you're ready to sell blue whales, by that point you've potentially put 2 years into it, you've potentially put 1 year into it, but it's still a long time, and it costs you a lot of money up front. And you should be able to trade these things. You should be able to, I want to feel confident that when I sell you something, it's not an investment, and I think that people should put that aside. But I would like to think that in at least 2 to 5 years time, you've made your money back and some, and you've been able to trade for new things. Because, like, you know, I would love for it to get to a point where I'm selling so many blue whales that I have to start trading with customers for new stuff. So Phil comes to me and goes, Josh, I've got 20 blue whales. Can I trade you for this new species? And I'm like, yes, dude, please, let's do that. Trade. Someone else gets the blue whales, you get something new, rather than money coming in all the time. Which sounds a bit stupid because, like, who doesn't love money? But, like, it doesn't really matter to me because I'm just going to spend it on new stuff, right? So
That's
it's
it,
like,
that's it. Well, I think, and I think that's kind of the true hobby side of things. And I say not so many people do trades anymore, but, like, you know, me and Chris, we've said from the word go of at seas where I got the cherry blossoms from you and he got the crabbies from you, that we're going to trade cherry blossoms and crabbies with each other,
yeah.
sort of thing, because it helps us both out.
And that's what it should be. Like,
Even though yours are taking way too much time.
the crabbies are pretty prolific, to be fair. Like, you know, they're
Also, I just look at the cherry blossoms and go, oh, I can't get rid of these.
I reckon that's it.
Yeah,
I reckon
to be
you've got
fair-
thousands. You just like, I just don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah. When Chris starts popping out like whites and pink crabbies, he's not going to give you them now, Phil, because he's like,
No,
I can't get rid of them. But yeah, about like 8 months ago, I pitched an idea to some of the bigger sellers, which was that I wanted to start a community like they do with fish, where we all pull some money in, and let's say it's a new species. We all get, so we get 50, and Phil gets 10, Chris gets 10, I get 10, whoever gets 10. We all breed in that, right? We're all trying. Phil's failed because he hasn't got enough cork bark, but he's told us in time, so Chris is still doing well. Then Chris has failed because he's not put whatever in, and he's found that out. So then, like, you know, you've got this whole structure where someone succeeds, amazing, right? And then we redistribute that. If Phil's lost all of his, first person to get him is Phil, then Chris, and then we've all got a captive bred colony that we can then start offering to customers, because there is so much room for all of us in this hobby. It doesn't need to just be, oh, whoever's got the most money to spend on the new species. It's because the thing is, when I've got blue whales to sell, Phil won't have blue whales to sell. And when Phil's got blue whales to sell, I won't have blue whales to sell, because breeding, like, isn't this constant 20 a month thing. It doesn't happen. There's crashes, there's ups and downs, there's, you know, you might not have fed them enough or whatever. You know, there's all these different variables. Unfortunately, as you can tell, it didn't go ahead, which is a bit of a shame. I'd love for that to happen in the next couple of years. I think it needs a couple of years. I think it needs to restabilize before people are really interested in it at the moment, because they want, you know, they want to set up their businesses, and I get that. But I am always up for trades, and I'm always up for, you know, if there's enough of a new species, sellers getting on board to try and do that, because, like, I want nothing more than that to succeed. I don't want to be importing it again. I don't want to be doing any of that. I want us to sell it. I want us to get it out there. I want us to, like, I want, you know, like, I don't know if any of you have, like, any trades people in your family, like, a, you know, if your dad's a builder or something like that. If you drive by, then they'll be like, I built that, son. I built that, son. I built that, son. Will you do the same with the isopods? You know, if me, you, and Chris all got, I don't know, the dog's bollock species, that's what the species name is, and, you know, it's in the hobby 10 years later, you can go, I did that. I brought that in. I captive bred that. You know, that's...
Is there a species called the dog's bollocks?
I'm going to name one. I was actually offered to name a species today, but I didn't. I named a different one called Goblin Fang, which is really cool. But yeah, I want to find my own to call it the dog's bollocks. So I am going to go to Thailand pretty soon. So if I find one, dog's bollocks is what it's going to be called, and that's the Americans will love it. They'll be like, "Oh my god, he's so British! Oh, we need the dog's bollocks." It's not how they sound. Actually, that just sounded more British than I did. But
Thing is, what would be even more funnier is if you named them the dog's bollocks and they were the most blandest, boringest isopod ever.
That's my aim. Grey.
Because of the name, it would tell well.
It probably would. That's why I came up with the Goblin Fang. I thought, well, actually, it was Jade Dagger or Goblin Fang was my two suggestions. But yeah, it's all about the names. You know, so many.
Absolutely.
Buckies.
I mean, there's one of the things that, yeah, some people were saying like SEO show like, oh, who comes up with all these different names and stuff? And I was like, well, a lot of it's marketing sometimes. Or like, we call it this, and people might, probably going to want it. Like Kabara's mango sticky rice. Who doesn't want that?
Exactly. Do you know the amber firefly GRN? It's glutinous rice. I was like, what's that? I thought it meant green. Like when I first got it, I was like, oh, I'm getting green fireflies, but it's not. It's granulous rice or something. I don't know. It's some sort of food. But yeah, just say it is all marketing. But I do think though, hopefully things change in the hobby with science as well. Like I've been kind of working with trying to work with Cambridge University recently on like DNA barcoding. So like they were going to help me with that, and I was going to set up it's a really expensive thing. It costs like 15 grand, so it's a bit more of a pipe dream than anything. But I thought over the next 5 years I could siphon some of the business money and build a lab at home, and I'd be able to test and barcode DNA barcode species. So it would literally just be like, if there's 1% difference, it's probably the same species. 3% difference is a different species, so on and so forth. And that's kind of it's kind of as easy as that. It's quite a bit more complicated, but it's kind of as easy as that. And I thought, oh well, then I can start doing it, because I know that it happens a lot in spiders. There's a lot of like people that would appreciate it in spiders, because I think at the moment there's not really an accessible place you can go to and go, can you just test this DNA for me? Because it costs so much. But if we had an invert lab, where every month we tested 100, because you can test 100 things at once, and then it costs a lot less money, and continuously add that to the website, I think that would be awesome. And it would stop there's a lot of isopods in the hobby that are sold under different names for monetary value. There's green laser, and there's green laser LFC. The green laser LFC, there's actually 4 names for it, all sold as different species, even though they come from the exact same cave and are literally just colorations that come out naturally. But there's a lot more money in a new species than there is a coloration, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough doom and gloom, right? Like, I think I talked too much.
Hopefully, Amy said in general watching, but yeah, she thought about that orange house didn't last long, unfortunately. Doesn't know why, and doesn't know why, but she can't keep ember bees alive.
I don't know if you have already, but a little plug. Look at my Ardeen Teller video. People seem to do pretty well after following that. I am going to make another one because I've made some changes, but it's a good starter for 10. Hoffs though I can't help you with, because I don't do well with them either.
Right, Hoffs. Well, I've got a young of my orange. It's that thing of I pretty much with Hoffs I pretty much hardly ever add moisture to them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do, and I think it was actually something that as possibly said like years ago, perhaps even on a stream, of like literally getting like a sweet spot and pouring the nozzle down into the substrate, so you're not getting any water on the actual pods themselves. On the thing, and just doing one corner like once a month or something, just a tiny little bit.
Yeah. Other sellers have said they spray them every 3 weeks, which is my problem. I just would feel too much anxiety. I think maybe I'll come back to Porcellia at some point, but I think at the moment, like, I like the Cuberis because I can spray them every week and kind of not have to worry about. It's like, oh, you've got enough water, mate. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Whereas, like, how you can't really tell with the halves, right? Like if you miss a watering, you're like, oh, do I? Don't I? Over water, underwater.
Yeah. So it's like, like the Kamaras, like, So again, some like that bit drier than the other Kamaras, but even then, it's still a lot more humid compared to to the Hoffs and stuff.
And my absolute biggest tip for Cuberis is listen to them. And when I say that, literally all I mean is I never start anything off in a 1.5 litre, and that's because I get newer species, so it's harder. If you know how to care for it, 1.5 is absolutely fine. If you're unsure, get something a little bit bigger. So I start off, even if I've got 5 or 10, I'll start off with a 3 litre, and I'll have a dry side and a wet side. And if they're all bunched up on the wet side, well, then I'll start making more of it wet. And if I slowly realize that they start to kind of get in the middle, cool. That's kind of how I know it's pretty much spot on. And if they're always over at the dry side, I know, oh, okay, don't spray it. And that's what I just do. I just listen to them that way. And that's kind of how I've had success. But it means that there's no care guide, because it's like, how do you tell someone? Because it's not quite 3/4 and it's not quite 1/5 and it's not doesn't really fit. So it's like, for the care guide for Cudarius, is like,
and then also like our different houses are different conditions.
yeah, and
Well,
leaving things in the if people keep,
and even just within
in the window
one room, like I might move a tub from one side of my room to the other side, and suddenly I have to care for it differently.
Exactly, it's so difficult, and there's just a lot of unknowns. I think that soil pH is one that I've really been hot on people on, because I brought some. This is nothing against bugs and bits, but like I used to use their soil all the time, and it was absolutely fine. And I got a batch, and it was extremely acidic. And if I put that in my pods, it would have. I'm quite sure that it would have damaged them over time. So you need to like check these things that you wouldn't usually think to check. By the way, I'm still going to buy some more soil off of many people in the future. I'm going to try the one that you use, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, I've got another 2 bags of it yesterday, but yeah, I use the MK Custodian Den. I absolutely love this stuff.
Yeah. But still, as much as we love these things, we need to be making sure that we are checking them, because there's always something that can go wrong. And like, you might not know, you might go, I've always used it, but it's just that one batch. I don't know. The postman left it on a deodorant can, and like, I don't know, or he spilt some vinegar on top of it. I don't, it could be anything. It's like, so we just need to be kind of mindful. It's like £7 for a pH test kit. Like, when you're spending 200 quid on something, I think we can afford £7 on a tester.
I just found the EMK exotic substrate is the only one where it's just had minimal fungus gnats.
Right, well, that's it. I'm switching everything over. I'm switching everything over.
I mean, for me, one of the great things with like the MK exotics, I've known MK exotics for many, many years, and before he was doing the substrates, he was a big isopod seller and breeder at one point. So he kind of understands what they need and stuff, and he's able to obviously do this mix for them and stuff, which he tests out with various pods, sort of thing first and stuff, before releasing it. And since he released it, a couple of years ago, it's pretty much all I use now with my pods. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go, definitely.
And stuff, and I know, I'm pretty sure, Dan from Post Pods now uses it like quite a lot as well.
Yeah, I saw him pick up loads at the show
and stuff, because I was like, I get on really well with it. If I do a terrarium, with isopods in to sell to someone or just for myself, I use it and stuff. And it's fantastic. I mean, it's got the Grubs Den as well, which I've used from as well. That's absolutely sort of fine, but I do use it primarily for millipedes and beetle grubs.
Mm-hmm.
I also use cockroach den as well for the cockroaches.
Yep.
I really quite like that stuff.
Oh, the cockroach den is good as well. Yeah. And the photos on that one are my photos.
I know.
Get you, Mr. Famous.
Check you out. Like Jeremy, one of Jeremy's isopod photos is.
No, it was a spider photo that was, if it's talking about keeper cards.
Oh, was it keeper cards?
Where one of his a photo he took of a spider ended up being on a keeper card.
All these people are too famous. They let it get to their heads, Chris. they book a show table and they go off and get all the fandom and wave themselves in it while you look after their table.
We're going to say go off for hours on end like Phil does.
That's what I was just talking about.
But the thing is, I didn't even book the table.
I know. I think though I'm going to do the same thing for Cov. I think what you've done, I think it was smart, because it is a shame a lot of people just don't kind of let anyone know. There was a few tables in both rooms that were not filled. So
I mean, the ones that me and my parents do, they let them know, but let them know fairly rudely and fairly close to the mark. So they say, well, there's no refund, and then they kind of kicked up a stink about it. So they're like, oh, well, we'll keep the tables in, sort of thing. But they're like, well, pretty sure I'm not going to come. I was like, well, I'm near enough that just bring some stuff just in case. Because as a show organizer, well, my parents are the main organisers, but I help them out. But even just to show, I know how upsetting it is to see an empty table. But then also as a punter, you go in and go, oh, this says it's sold out. And look, there's empty tables.
That's the thing, because like literally, I'm on the doorstep of the invert show. Like if I'm at my mum's, I can see the invert show from my house. So I wish that I'd done it the day before, like you, and brought it, because there was, I think it was Invicta or someone else that couldn't turn up for whatever reason. But as you say, it does just mean that like there's a couple of empty tables. BTS was pretty bad for it as well. It's just not like, because we all know that there's people wanting those tables. The list gets massive, so it's just like I don't know if it's like that there could be a better system. I mean, Luke does so much work already. I know that he's doing a top-notch job, so I think that like I don't know. I feel like people could just be a bit better at like kind of going, I can't go or I can go, that type of thing, because as we spoke about, you can't just add loads of tables to the people on the wait list, because you need the customers to come.
That's it.
But yes, I'm not going to cancel on you at Milton Hall. Don't worry. I'm looking forward to the show. It's a fun one. We were talking about how like Milton Hall really, it's just a fun show. Like you don't really have anything else like that. You go there and you dress up and you're having fun and it's with your friends. It's intimate, it's close.
Yeah, and that's what we, me and my parents want from that show. It's like, everyone have fun. Traders have some fun. Hopefully make enough money that it makes it worth their while coming.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a smaller show, so it's like you're perhaps not going to make anywhere near as much as some of the other shows. But as long as you make it,
it's an experience. It's the funness, like
that's it. And so far, we have, foot traders have been at our show since the very first one, and so it was only 2 years ago. 3 years ago. This will be a third show, and every year there's always, some traders that don't come back, but some of them are like they've given up trading or they're just doing the one-offs or whatever and stuff. Some that just didn't show up, so we're like, well, we're not inviting you back then, sort of thing. And stuff, but primarily, most of the time it's the traders that want to come back because they've enjoyed it, sort of thing. To the point that this year we've probably got one of our probably our biggest name to date coming of Dave's Little Beasties.
Animals Addictive. Oh, sorry.
And stuff. Of which Kelly Gamma Lady's been trying to convince Dave and trying to get tables out of show for the past couple of years.
It's great. I mean, there's no other show like it. I think it's an amazing. This is an amazing thing.
And that's what we wanted, because
people really look forward.
We always ask for feedback from all the traders and stuff, because and just in general, and obviously it was either after the first one or after last year's one. Cover we're like, or if you got rid of the reptile display in the back room, we could have more traders in them. We're like, no, we're not going to put traders in the back room because we know what that feels like. Sort of thing. And also that takes away one of the unique things that we have of having the reptile display in there.
Because the traders, we've all probably been to Comic-Cons or something like that, right? Or something similar, Lego.
Sadly.
And like, what's that? Sorry.
Sadly.
Yeah. So
I don't like Comic-Cons, and Alice took me.
Well, the thing is, the American Comic-Cons, they're great. Right, at least the ones I see, they're interactive. You've got things you can actually talk about, and there's shows going on and all that, and that looks amazing. You You go to a Comic Con in the UK. I've been to a few, not all, and I'm sure there's some good ones. But most of the time, you pay a tenner, you get in there. They've got no one talking, and it's literally just buy this mystery box, buy this mystery box, buy this mystery box, buy this, and it's just sales. And like, there's no the differences in the hobby world. Like I can come to your table, Phil, have a chat with you because you're my friend, and like we've met, and and that's the thing. You build the rapport. You have like these really one-to-one things on customers. But equally, there's things going on at the Invert show, and there's things going on at your show. Like so, that reptile room, that's a big draw because like you can go if you're new to the hobby, you can go to a show and you've probably gone round in an hour, and there's not really much that much more to do because you don't really know anyone. Whereas if you've got stuff like that, activities, and you've got the talks, then they stay there for 2 hours and then they make friends and then they want to come back next year. So yeah, definitely don't I know you already know that, but definitely don't lose anything like that.
No, that was like open up for debate. Like I would say, like, well, this has been suggested. She's like, I don't think we should. And me and my dad were both like, no, we shouldn't. that says that is part of the show, and what would you'd only gain maybe 4 or 6 tables of for traders, which is not a huge gain in terms of trader numbers, but then they're completely in a separate room where potentially people might not go into.
Yeah.
Whereas if they don't go in for the Raptor display, well, there's no harm lost there. But it seems to get fairly busy with people going in there every so often to see what was out and about and stuff.
Yeah, where Alice is going to be all the way through it.
Oh yeah. Alice ain't going to be on your sound at all.
No, I'm gonna be on my own.
Apart from whenever my dad says that Gwen has to go back in the Viv. Because it has to have a break by the licensing rules. Then you might see her.
Sorry, my other half. So we helped Amazing Reptiles. So Phil's mum and dad's. They did a show. It was a country show near me.
Yeah, the Bucks Country Show.
Yeah. So my other half, Alice, she fell in love with Gwen, the Tegu, and wouldn't put it down until she was told she had to put it back for heat reasons and bits and pieces. She loved it.
Oh, that's amazing.
So now she's she's going to be in the reptile room all the time.
Every time that Gwen's allowed to come out.
Yeah.
But that's it as well. Like I think you said to me before, it's it's a show, but really it's you just wanting to get your mates together, So you want it to be fun for all of them, and yeah. I think that's great. It's never. I think this is the thing that I was saying earlier. It's not about being the biggest. It's just about doing what's fun for you. And
no, that's it. We as a show for the Minimal Halloween Invert show, there are no plans at all of it being a massive show.
Yeah.
Because we've got those, they do that fantastically. BTS does that fantastically. C's does that fantastically. We don't need to, it'd be almost silly to try and compete with those guys, sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You've got your own.
There's that market for that smaller kind of village hall style show. Sort of thing that is a bit more just community based and a bit more relaxed about it, and let's have some fun. That's why, chose Halloween because that's just nice, easy.
Who doesn't love Halloween?
Thing to do, and I do Halloween displays as well. So I have loads of Halloween decorations that we can quickly put up and stuff, and it's just a fun thing. Like, encourage kids and adults to come dressed up and stuff, and everyone have a bit of a laugh with each other.
That's it.
It's not the most dangerous show for me because it's right after payday. There's a cash machine literally next door, so it's like, oh, let's buy loads of things.
I'll have to ban you before just so you have some money afterwards.
I think I spent a stupid amount at your show last year.
The C
last year. Well, it was my first. I think I was just getting into sort of the higher end isopods. So I ended up getting like rubber duckies and things like that from Dan.
Mm.
And yeah, it ended up being very expensive.
It does get that way. I was really surprised at Seats because that was my first show. So yeah, I had no expectations. It was really fun. I'm really anxious. I might not come across that way sometimes, but I find it really difficult to talk to people. I also find it really difficult to shut up once I do start talking, but I find it really difficult. So the whole time I was just like sweating and like shitting bricks. I'm like, oh god, everybody's looking at me. They hate me. It's like they think my display is terrible. I'm never going to come to a show again. But yeah, I was made to feel really, really welcome. The guy,
you got enough money out of me and Phil, so
yeah, definitely that helps. That helps. And then I went on and spent it straight away. So, but yeah, the guy at Customer Query who was next to me, I forgot his name now, Matthew. And he was just such a nice dude, man. He was just like, fantastic. He was just like, oh, it's your first show, how's it going, all that, and it kind of like made me feel a bit more comfortable because like when you sat next to people that you don't really know, you're like, you know, good the whole time. So it was quite nice. It kind of goes to show how much of a community we are, and it's not really the way that it's not the way that it is on groups. I think groups are horrible, and I think that they're the root of all evil, really. But you also have to accept them if you're gonna kind of succeed in most ways. It's a bit of a shame, but it's only a very few that ruin it. We've all made great friends, I think, over the years. Amy, you should definitely make it to Mildenhall, and if you don't, we will never forgive you. That's
but yeah, no, Matthew's fantastic. I've known Matthew for God, I don't know how many years, so many years. I've been bought so many tanks off him, and I camp with him at Bloodstock every year. And at his house minimum twice a year for barbecues and parties and stuff.
He does seem like a really nice dude, like a proper genuine person. Yeah, there's a lot of people that I feel are really, really genuine in this hobby, which is lovely, to be honest.
Yeah, no, he absolutely is, and yeah, when you get to know Matthew, he's one of that sort of like the sorts of the invert world and stuff. Like he's done it for forever, sort of thing. And like, just if he doesn't know someone, there's probably chances are there's something wrong with that person sometimes.
Right? Okay.
Sort of thing.
So I need to get to know him then. Otherwise, like,
if they've been in like the animal world for a long time and he doesn't know them, it's like, why doesn't Matthew know this person?
Yeah.
Just because he seems to know everyone.
Yeah.
Stuff. Like, yeah, when it's his sort of, his sort of party, it's essentially open house, essentially. And it's one of those ones where you never know who's going to turn up to it sometimes. And it's like people from all corners of life, whether it be, animal or music kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And stuff, just wandering into his house. And stuff, or just wandering, into the garden to watch the bands, because he basically now got his own mini festival in his garden.
Full stage and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
It's good fun. Did actually have a laugh. You guys probably won't have heard of him, but Mark Amy, he popped into the show yesterday.
I saw him. I didn't get to say hello to him.
You would know who he is, Chris.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Okay. Yeah, he came up. He was like, yeah, busy days. I'm technically working today. I'm having a quick pop round, then I'm off to go and film with Steve Backshall. And I was like, why can't you just bring him here? Bring Steve Backshall here. Everyone would love it.
What did you guys pick up at the show?
Watched the video.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
What
Okay.
Phil said. Watch the video. Wait for the video to come out. We might, Josh, if you're lucky, we might tell you backstage.
Okay, all right.
Maybe.
I don't think I was feeling well, you see, because I didn't buy any pods, and that's a bit of an issue because I didn't buy any.
And for a change, I actually did buy some pods. Because I normally
I
don't
can't
buy
even
the
ask
pods.
you what they are. Apparently, I have to wait for the video. No,
You have to wait for the video. Yeah.
I kind of
I
realised
can give you a hint.
when I was doing my pickup video, I was like, I didn't buy any pods. Hang on, what's wrong with me?
I can give you a hint what I got. I've just rehoused the cockroaches. That's it.
Okay. Was nowhere near a hint, mate. But I appreciate you trying. I appreciate you trying. Oh dear.
I think I know. I think I remember which ones Chris got. Unless you got more than one.
I showed you, didn't I?
Yeah. Unless you got more than one.
No, I wasn't silly like Jeremy and get the American cockroaches, so I'm all good.
Oh no, the ones you showed me were like, yeah, no, they're cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Especially the
ones Jeremy
ones
showed
I've
me,
just
I was like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? And then it was like, yeah, but look how much I gave for in America. We're not in America, are we? What are you on about?
But then, didn't you buy the what is it? The green. What are they called? The ones that fly.
Yeah, mate, I done.
I don't know what you
Chris,
actually had. I
I
just
thought
realised.
Chris was a pro then. I'm like, hold on, Phil's really helping you out here, making sure we don't know, and you're just outing him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just realised, just clocked before I said the name of it.
See what this.
Yeah, he bought a load of moths.
Oh, I hate moths, man. I hate moths. They terrify the hell out of me. They want to go for your eyes, man. I don't know what it is. They want to go for your eyes.
I'll hopefully be getting a load of moths in a couple of weeks, hopefully.
No, Phil. If they're at the show, I'm not coming.
Alice has actually allowed me to get moths, so I might ask you to get me some Atlas moths whilst you're at the
a bunch in stock.
An Atlas moth actually looks quite cool. But the house ones, man, they're going for you. There's something wrong with them. They're like demented. They're like that kid out of Toy Story that like tortures all of his like toys. They just want to like torture our eyes.
But also see what depends on what I can afford and stuff in terms of business money and stuff. But see what others I can get from the supplier. What might be popular at shows / on the site.
I'm gutted I'm missing that this year.
Have you actually not been to that one, have you?
No.
I think so.
No, it'd be one that I will definitely do next year. But unfortunately, I have to work.
I saw it was a good few years ago. It's the Amateur Entomology Society show. And going back a good few years back, well, pre-Brexit as well. Right, when the likes of Arthropodia were able to come over from Paris with all their stuff. And I was at their tables just looking at stuff and heard someone next to me, not sure what on the care on something, but the guys Arno and Christopher were busy sort of advising others. And I started just advising this person on what they were looking at and stuff and on the care of some of them. And when I decided, which ones did have sort of turned up, and the person I'd been advising was Bill Bailey.
Yeah, that's cool. Does Josh know who Bill Bailey is?
I didn't even know who the people you were talking about before was. That's how like green I am.
Are you able to kick people out of the?
Yeah, I just do that.
Gone. No longer.
Don't know who Bill Bailey is. Oh my god! Look him up. I guarantee you'll recognise him.
Why silly?
You must it's in like black books. Oh god.
No.
No. I know like really old stuff or like really new stuff. That's about it.
What's really old stuff? Because
Like I used to love like Steptoe and Son. Some mothers do have them. Laurel and Hardy.
Okay, that's old.
Yeah, that's
stuff
old.
like
That
like
is
really
old.
old. Or
Sorry, I
like
thought you were going to say like the Mighty Boosh or something like that. I was like, wow.
I'm telling you something now. Anyone who likes Mighty Boosh is weird. That's the weirdest show ever. I've never liked it. The only people who like that are weird bug people. Like,
At first, I never liked it.
Do you watch Strictly Come Dancing? He was on that.
Was he on that?
Yeah.
I used to watch it years ago.
I think you won it. I don't know, but
I'm just gonna search it now. Sorry,
he's a stand-up comedian and comic actor and everything else.
Oh yeah, I do know him. Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know him, but like, I don't think I've seen him, but yeah, I've watched the Hot Fuzz. But other than that, I don't know where else I was seeing him.
Don't know nothing.
But yeah, no, it's like the early days. All sorts of people would be there. It was mental. So, well, I don't know. Was it first? I think the first ever C show. Is either the first or the second? We've done it since the very start of C's. It was either the first or second. They had Vic Reeves turn up.
Oh God, I'm such Vic Reeves now. Oh yeah. I've definitely seen his face.
And like, yeah, he was going around. Yeah, one of his first tarantula. It was all there. All Australians were like, because back then C's was just that main hall, the one room. And it was like, oh, there's Vic Reeves, and everyone's like, oh my God, Vic Reeves is walking around. What's going on?
And I would have been like, oh, who was that?
This person.
One thing that does really upset people is the fact that I've never had a Chinese. So if you want to be more upset with me, then you can just like. Honestly, like I didn't realize until I started working as an adult how upset people get over that. Because like every team you go into, they're like two truths and a lie.
Even Amy.
Yeah.
That's it. Only Pod is finished. Never had a Chinese takeaway. What's going on?
Everybody's like so upset by it. Like, I've never had it. It looks, one, it seems really expensive for what it is, and two, it looks greasy.
It's expensive, not for what it is. It's just expensive.
Yeah,
but it's so worth it until you get really full and you can't move anymore, and then you're thinking, I just spent like 50 quid on all of this food.
It's so good though, especially too. Well, you will be happy to know I've still not had a proper Chinese, but I did give in and get a chopsticks once. So does that count?
No, because that's not eating Chinese. That's just chopsticks.
Well,
have you had an Indian?
Yeah, I love Indian food, but I don't really order it, to be fair, because again, it's really expensive, and I kind of want to like a few things. I like going to like buffets for Indians because you can get a bit of everything then.
So you complain about buying very expensive takeaways, but you don't complain about buying ridiculously expensive isopods.
Listen, there's one thing.
Actually, yes.
I'll buy £1,000 worth of isopods. Yep, all right. But I'm not going to spend 20 quid on a Chinese.
There's one thing. If you spent enough time with me, you'd realise is that I am an absolute tight fucker. Unless it's like something I'm into. Like I just hate spending money. I don't spend money on anything. Like my house is pretty bare because I hate even like decorations being put up. I'm like, now what's the point in spending 20 quid on decorations?
I don't know. I mean, it looks like you got a piano in there. And...
yeah. Someone texted me and was like, Josh, you need to stop making that ice bomb and your house is too big. But yeah, I hate it. Like I use tea bags twice. Everything, man. Like my whole family's like it though. My dad, when he used to house share with my uncle, he used to like swap out the good coffee and put it in a cup in his room. So he'd take the good coffee, put it in a cup, put it in his room, and then he'd replace it with really crap coffee, knowing that the housemates would get the new better coffee. And again, he'd keep doing that. Yeah, we're all tight fuckers, to be honest.
Wow.
He used to hide like biscuits under his bed as well, so like no one else could have them. Dad was so tight, so tight.
Yeah, my uncle just hid a load of money under the bed. Great uncle.
Well, biscuits, money, you know.
Well, he was an old boy, so he was old, like World War II old.
Oh, I didn't trust the
So
bank.
they didn't trust the bank. When he passed away, sadly, we went through his house and we found, I think it was like £25,000 worth in cash, and we're just like, what the hell? It was insane, but yeah.
You do have a lot of people like that, though. Like, I used to do house clearances, and I found the most we ever found was in a black bag that was in the bin. My nan found it actually because we were giving her some stuff, so it's a good job she was there. In the bin, for some reason, she just went through this bag, and there she found like £5,000. So the guy brought us a McDonald's with it. Win-win.
Sure.
How much is your isopod collection worth? I don't think I should answer that, to be fair.
I think you should. I'm really quite intrigued.
If you want an honest
Probably
answer,
more than mine and Chris's put together, probably.
Probably our whole collection put together.
an honest answer is that I could buy a house outright with it. That's the honest answer. It is a large collection. If you sold everything retail at top price, yeah, it would be. It's definitely like more than £250,000 now. At the last,
I'll buy it off you for 20 quid.
Yeah, but like this is the thing. Like, I talked to my missus about it like ages ago. She's like, because obviously, like the drama in the hobby has really been playing on my mind. Like, I've been really down mental health wise, and it's just not being. It's not good. You know, I'm trying to make good changes, and yet people are pushing back against it, and it's just like, you know, I'm losing friends and stuff like that. So she was like, "Look, Josh, you know, if you need to back it in, you know, what can we do?" And I was like, to be honest, if I sold the whole collection, I'd be very, very lucky if someone could pay 10 grand for it, you know, because that's the thing. When you're buying things in bulk like that, it's not, you know, it's not that sort of money. So even the bird is shook. Yeah, it's definitely a collection. But the thing is, a lot of it, I probably won't ever be able to sell, because a lot of isopods, like, just keeping them to their own like kind of levels is really, really hard. You know, and if anything, some even will start to decline maybe over the years. But yeah, I started off about, like I said to you, Chris, I started off this year about minus £42,000, and I'm about minus £18,000 now. So it's, the business is going all right as such, but it won't get better, because what will happen is next year I'll do it all over again. Just get more, because it's not an addiction, but it's like, you know, I love them, I really do, and it's, you know, getting top ups, or it's, you know, this, or it's getting a new species, or it's that, you know, and it just grows and it grows and it grows and it grows, and I love it, I really do. But I doubt I'll ever be profitable. It doesn't matter how big the collection is. I know the spider shop's a bit different because it's run by multiple people, but I still would find it hard to believe that the owners are profitable in terms of like what they actually keep at their houses, because we just love things so much, you know, and any money we do have, we just want something cool and new. And that's, you know,
Thing is, I'd to be honest, the spider shop guys, I reckon they don't probably have anything at their house.
No, I don't.
No.
I reckon because they have to look after so much.
Yeah.
Oh, they're sick of it.
I reckon they want to go home and just get away from invertebrates.
Yeah,
Personally, I think. Because
maybe.
I mean, if I had my own facility, like what they had, I would move my stuff there. Most of it, probably.
Yeah, I get that.
The only things I wouldn't keep there are like the stuff that isn't breeding.
I mean, I've got the garage now that, you know, houses all the isopods, but I keep all my ants up here. I think it's because, like, you know, they're not.
Yeah. Well, I
selling
mean, like, yeah,
much.
if I was to get my own facility, or I mean, me, Chris, Jeremy, and Amy and I will discuss about even potentially going all in together at some point, you know, potentially for unit or whatever. A lot would go into the unit, but I'd have a few things here.
Yeah, 'cause they're pretty.
You'd have a few. You got to have a few pet things. Sort of thing.
Well, I mean, we're here. We've got. I mean, the problem with my place, we have like every room has an animal in it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got. It's not. I mean, the inverse is my part. We've got the parrot. We've got lizards. We've got snakes. We've got frogs. We've got toads. We've got salamanders. We've got an Asian palm civet. We've got a cat. We've got 2 dogs. We've got a rabbit. A hamster called Phil.
Which gets me in trouble sometimes.
It does. Alice said to me earlier, she was like, Phil was scurrying around and searching everywhere. And I would have thought Phil had been in bed. He'd had a long day at the show. And she was like, no, and what about the hamster?
Great.
But yeah, I mean, we've got all these animals, like a ridiculous amount of animals. And now Alice wants a hedgehog. And it's like, oh. But yeah, obviously a lot of like the amphibians and stuff wouldn't be able to go to like one of those facilities because of licensing laws and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, it's when you take vertebrate into places like that, you then go under certain licensing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, when this facility does happen, like I can't wait to see it. Like you guys are a powerhouse of a team. You know, loved worldwide. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be exciting. I think that you know, obviously, you know, I know you guys. I don't know the spy shop. I don't know some of the the bigger things. But maybe if I did when they were small, I'd be like the same way. But because I know you guys so personally, I'm like, wow, this is going to be amazing, and I know how passionate you guys are. And maybe this, the spy shop guys were the exact same. It's just I don't know them, so I don't know that type of thing. And I think that everybody here is everybody knows you, right? So it's like everybody's really excited to see you guys succeed.
That's all.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the dream and the plan.
Yeah. You've got to have a plan, right?
One day, I'd love it.
When the finances allow.
In about 70 years.
Yeah, which you've
got quite a long
retirement.
All right, sorry, 69 years then. Yeah, it will happen. It will happen.
It's just a big. It's a big jump, right? It's a big leap forward.
It's a big step, and it's a lot. There'd be a lot of logistics that will go into it because we're obviously
close, and
there's a bit because we're all kind of spread out.
Mm-hmm.
Phil's up, but where he is, where are you, Phil?
I'm here.
Yeah, at a zoo up the country a bit. Yeah, so Phil's up there.
Every turn here, Phil. Go on.
Phil's up that way. And then I'm near London. Jeremy's near London. Amy's near London.
Well, Amy's in London.
Well, Amy's in London. But it's obviously Jeremy doesn't drive, which is obviously a bit of a pain for him. Amy, it would be a tube or wherever it would be, and there's a lot of logistics that would go into it.
London's very expensive as well, right? So it's like finding the right area.
And the outskirts of London, and even my area is all expensive as well because I'm only on the
outskirts of London.
Yeah, I mean, it's so I didn't quite realize. The overheads for having anything is just really high. Like it's really cheap for stuff like that in Peterborough. So I was, I inquired about getting something basically about double the size of my garage. It was all right. It was I think it was £400 a month. And then because it's so small, you don't have to pay business rates and stuff like that. It was the perfect size where you don't have to pay it. But if you're not bringing in £400 a month, it's it's worrying, because it's not just 400 quid, it's then electric, and it's taxes, and it's all of that stuff. So it's like you kind of have to know that you're going to guarantee yourselves that amount before you can do it. Like with the isopod hobby, it's up and down. Like in the past 3 months, I did on my online orders, I've had 4 orders. That's it. It's not loads and loads of orders. So it's like, I certainly couldn't take that leap yet. And it's just kind of building that. You kind of want a solid year. If you've all all 3 of you had a solid year, and you're like, actually,
I mean, it's been a good while since I've had an online order. Sort of thing.
Yeah, it's hard. The online orders are really, really difficult, and that's what I kind of said to Chris about, like, the groups are root of all evil, but equally, I literally get every single order from the groups I'm in. It's the only way to be, because it's like people are talking to you. It takes up so much more of your time, but people are talking to you, and they're like, oh, actually, yeah, I want to buy that. Is that all right? And because they get the care and the information straight from the horse's mouth. So yeah, I mean, like, if anyone's starting in inverts, if you can handle it mental health wise, and I really do truly mean that, I'm not joking, because it is tough. The groups are the best place to be, 100%, because people just won't think of you to go on your website, if you're not there every day and you're not talking to them. Luckily, you guys have got a decent YouTube following, and people know you very well, and you've been doing it a long time. But yeah, if anyone new's here, and even some people that have been doing it for a long time, I do think
and also
groups are good.
It takes time for websites to get recognized as well, and stuff, and even trusted. So there's something like getting them down from Postbox. He was telling me he found out his took a good year or so before it kind of started kicking in for.
So first 12 months, you're not ranked as well for SEO. So yeah, SEO is a horrible thing, because it's like, back in the day, SEO was just optimizing your page, which you can do yourself, or you can pay someone to do for maybe 50 or 100 quid. But it's all about backlinks now. So basically, to get your page ranked up, what you need to do is like have a load of blog posts. So let's say, I don't know, Chris runs a blog and I run a blog. You need to be making sure that we are putting a link to your web page, not necessarily so people click it, but it means that you rank better because you've got more backlinks. And doing that is incredibly hard, because who's making blog posts about us?
Yeah.
Everyone should.
Everybody should, exactly. And again, unless you've got like a really rare species no one else has got, you're going to be ranked really low. Like, if I'm really lucky that if you search pretty much any rare pod species, my name will come up in the search bar. But if everybody was doing that, again, I'd be probably bottom unless someone starts making blog posts about me.
So yeah, it's, I think, it's the dream and the plan, but it'll be when we're all bringing in as businesses enough money to sustain it.
I guess it's about taking that dive as well, and it's a scary dive, because it's like, you guys put so much into this. If you dive yourself into it and it doesn't work, you're going to be disheartened. But I guess, like, those are things you just got to be putting aside and just be like, look, if it don't work, it don't work, but at least you kind of tried. And 9 times out of 10, you'll do better than you thought, is at least my experience. I certainly didn't think that I would have any sort of presence in the pod hobby when I started.
It's all things to look forward to and work towards.
Real life gets in the way very often, and that's unfortunately the biggest blocker. Real life. Work, taking care of friends, family, kids, animals, pets.
Then even just yourself. Remembering to take care of yourself.
And yourself,
What was it? It was actually 10 to 11. I didn't realise it was 10 to 11.
Oh, that's late.
It is for me on a Monday because, yeah, normally finish these sort of around 10ish, but that's all good.
Oh, apologies for talking.
No, I don't apologise. We've had good conversations, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind
No, I always enjoy it.
going later when we're having good conversations. That's not a problem. But I will probably look at finishing the stream. But no, cheers guys for hopping on.
No, thank you.
I think me and Chris need to have a go at Jeremy because I thought Jeremy was going to hop on, but he's on a no show.
Lightweight, that boy, lightweight. And he thinks he's going to be able to do Voodoo and AES on the same day. No, he's not.
What's Voodoo?
Voodoo's a heavy metal nightclub in London. But it starts at like 10 o'clock at night and it finishes at 6:30 in the morning. So Jeremy's thinking about doing Voodoo like Friday night into Saturday morning, and then staying in London until AES starts, and then going to the Invert show and not go home in between.
Well, at least that way you wouldn't have to book a hotel, right? If you get a late enough train.
But I'm not sure if they'll allow him in drunk.
I feel like there's some drunk people there already, to be fair.
But yeah, just be interested to see if Jeremy does it. That'd be quite fun.
Just make sure he brings loads of deodorant. That's all I would say.
Yeah. I reckon he'll flake. Bless him.
I can do it. I'm only 26. I couldn't do that anymore. I used to go out until 6 o'clock in the morning every single night, 3-4 days a week. I probably couldn't. I couldn't do one day now without dying. I don't think.
I think years ago, so me and my friend Emma, we did a gig Friday night. This was over a weekend. We did a gig Friday night, and straight after the gig, we went to Voodoo. Got back at like I walked in at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Went to sleep for a bit. Woke up, went back into London to another gig on Saturday night, and then went to another all-nighter nightclub called Slime Night. Did that all the way through the night up until 7 o'clock in the morning. Went home, had a little kip, that went back into London to another gig Sunday night. Yeah.
And you're still here to tell the tale.
Just. It was a hard night. It was a hard night. Well, weekend.
And now we're all tired and we're going to get off now because
now we're all old and wanting to go to bed.
All old and like,
Yeah. I've done most of my rehousing.
But yeah, no, it's nice. Cheers for coming on, guys. Cheers, babe, on that's watched, and especially if you watched from the beginning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my pickups video will be out on Wednesday, as per usual. So
mine will be out.
No show footage because I didn't get any show footage. But so yeah, just pickups video, and I got.
You got no show footage, but you say with the old time, Phil. Come on, man, you got to do better.
When I wasn't at my table, my phone was at my table to take car payments, and you just the car payments
locked, and the only person that he told the pin to forgot it, Jeremy.
That's why Phil didn't make any sales on the day. He thought you guys were doing a terrible job.
You're damn it, Jeremy.
Oh.
Cheers going on.
See you in a bit.
We'll see you next time. You know, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.